Almost done. Just give me a moment. Does everything look good? Yep. Everything looks fine. Cool. Making sure. Okay. Should have enough. Hey. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to the stream. Just gonna give people a moment soon. So pretty much today. God, I'm tired. Pretty much today, I got a notification saying that a new Maxor video came out. And it's a video on Genshin Impact. Now I got a video, now before I go into like showing it, I will, I did make a video prior that essentially talked about it. I can show it if people want to, but yeah, I'm gonna be reacting to the Genshin Impact videos from Maxor. I've seen the old one, I haven't seen the new one that just came out today. But yeah, it's just I don't play Genshin anymore, but I used to, and it's just like I don't hate the game. It's just like I hate how I don't hate like the game itself. I just hate, you know, how it has been performing essentially. Before that, we got some more videos. I got a bunch of these in a playlist, and also just to get people to come in, just waiting for people to come in and everything. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, everything looks fine. Just to double check, because I don't know if everything I have is saved from before. Let's see here. Get that. And then this was, what was this? Yep, this is right. Yep. Alright, good. So, everything is working fine. Good. Okay. Alright. So, these first few videos are mainly just, like, from Trash Taste, and this is just stuff I'm meaning to see. But, it is what it is. Anyway.
Let's check out Gans, shall we?
Okay, let's
check
check out mine.
Jump right into it.
Let's jump right into it.
Let's check out mine and see what you guys see there.
Okay, so Tasted Anime. He has Your Name, Bacchanal, Fate, I think that's Unlimited Blade Works, Ava, Orimo, Lock Horizon, One Piece, Haruhi, and Black Lagoon. Ultimately, I approve.
Alright, well, we can ignore the filth in the middle. But, honestly...
Wait, what is that show in the middle? I don't...
It's Orimo.
It's Orimo.
Oh.
Okay, so let me spell out my 3x3.
Yeah.
So from top left, going down row by row.
Yeah.
So you got Your Name, Bacchanal,
Yeah.
Fate Zero, Evangelion,
Fate Zero.
Orimo, Log Horizon, One Piece, Haruhi, or The Disappearance, and Black Lagoon.
God, this screams someone who got into anime in the 2000s.
It does!
Jesus Christ, look
This
at that.
screams weeaboo.
Look
yeah,
at this.
yeah.
Look at this.
I mean,
fucking Black Lagoon, Evangelion, and Haruhi on the same
Okay,
fucking
not gonna lie.
Yeah. All that's missing is like fucking like all that's missing is like a fucking Naruto. Like that's all that's missing.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not expecting Black Lagoon to be there.
I can see it.
Really?
Okay, so
There's nothing like it.
I've never heard anything about Black Lagoon coming
It's
from Gant's
fucking
mouth.
good.
No, it's great. I'm
it's-
just curious
I
why
watched
Gant
the
likes it.
Anime Zone's review on it.
it's,
Oh,
it's,
really?
it's,
Positively.
it's fucking brilliant. It's one of the shows that I haven't had too much of a chance to talk about. But like before I get into that, let me tell you the thought process that I.
Just fucking. Let me tell you the thought process. Just fucking trying to hold back his vomit.
Let me tell you the
Too
thought.
much emotion.
Let me tell you the thought process I put into like picking
Tell me your
these.
thought process.
Go
Go
on.
on.
Because I you know, at the beginning I was like, how the fuck do I pick my favorites? Because I have like too many favorites
Right.
that I can talk about, right?
Relatable.
So then I thought, okay, here's a big thing. What if I just pick the anime that I have rewatched? Okay,
Right.
because if I've rewatched something, and this is like rewatching not for my job, but rewatching for my own enjoyment. If I've rewatched something, that means there is something fucking special about that show that has stuck with me, that I felt like I've wanted to go out of my way to re-experience that.
I agree with that.
Honestly, I agree with the same too. So it's like when it comes to anime, like my mind works in two ways. Either it's like I watch it more than once, and I like absolutely can like it's just something I can either it's something I want to continue watching, or it's something I can just turn my brain off to, or two, I watch it once or twice, and that's like my brain goes, you know what, that's fine because I get it, and that's all I really need. And it's not to say, you know, like if I don't watch it more than those many times, ultimately I hate it. No, it's just sometimes shows just be like that. Hell, I haven't watched like Code Geass more than like 2 or 3 times. And that's one of my favorite series.
I agree with that.
And
Fair enough,
even
yeah,
even
okay.
on some shows that I think is fucking great, like for example, like stuff like Monster or like highly critically acclaimed shows.
I do
you know?
not want to rewatch Monster.
No, like exactly. I feel like it's had its time in the sun, but in terms of like what I truly
It actually I actually went I was watching this like just Monster with some friends of mine. It actually surprised me how long that show was going. Like just how under the radar ultimately Monster is. Like I know it's a popular show, but ultimately like when you compare it to other shows that are popular, like One Piece for instance. Like that's a very popular show and that's been long running for such a long time. It's still going to this day, I think. The fact that Monster, like the anime, has been going for so long, like it's insane. Like, you know, usually some shows, yeah, and this is personally me, usually some shows, I hear something about them, and it's just like, okay, that makes sense in terms of why they stuck out for so long. Like, I think, like, Inuyasha or, what was it? Ranma 1/2 is another one. There's something else I was just thinking of. Oh, Detective Conan. Case closed. Like, there's a number of shows out there where it's just like, I might not have like either seen through or seen it all, but at the same time it's just like they are like in the back, they're playing in the back of my head or just alongside my ear, and it's just like there are shows that absolutely are just like they people will every now and then talk about it, or it's like it's a part of like pop culture with anime, and you know it makes sense why those shows go for as long as they do or they last as long as they do. It makes sense to a degree. Other shows like Monster, I barely hear much of. I've barely heard anything about it, and it just surprises me. A show like that went on for that long, and is ultimately that good. Honestly, I really like Monster. I feel like a show like that's run that long is that good. Just stayed under the radar for so long, you know.
truly like enjoy to the core,
Right.
I wouldn't go out I at the moment I wouldn't go out and rewatch Monster. You know, I wouldn't do that.
Okay,
but-
okay, hold on, but I get that, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at this right now, being like, yeah, rewatch that.
Yeah.
Would you rewatch One Piece?
I have rewatched
Okay.
One Piece.
Is it even possible to rewatch One
Okay,
Piece?
okay. I've okay. Here's the thing.
Yeah, man, you got that Steins Gate time machine or some shit? Like,
Okay, so, interesting story. I have actually, I've actually tried to binge One Piece. I know that sounds like a big stretch. I know that sounds like a major stretch, but in the grand scheme of things, like, I think in the grand scheme of things of where I got, that was actually pretty, it was actually a pretty decent amount. So, little bit of the story. I used to work I used to work a full-time job just somewhere, and they were just like, you know, you can. My job was very lenient at the time. It was just like you can listen to music, or you could just put something on your phone while you work, and it's just like, and I was like, cool. So what I did was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I work like 9 to 10 hours here you know what I'm just gonna do? Put on One Piece and then just go to work. I got through the East Blue. I got through East Blue, I got through Grand Line, I got through Baroque Works, all 3 of those arcs. In, like, such little time. And, you know, like, I've already, like, my history with One Piece is very weird because it's just, like, I very much jumped from point to point on it and kind of came in trying to figure out the rest. And interestingly enough, I'm not, like, I go off about being an idiot or anything, but I'm actually, like, in the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty smart to pick up on, like, you know, certain cues or certain things when it comes to certain shows. So, like, for me, personally, I jumped into One Piece around the whole thing with Luffy and the Celestial Dragon and the Kuja Pirates. I jumped into that, and that's a very, like, that's a very, like, midway or, like, kind of very spoiler-heavy-esque type area. But I went into it. I kind of watched that. I know people was like, "Oh man, you should watch it from the beginning." And I decided to watch One Piece from that point. And then I watched it and was just like, you know what? This is a show I actually do want to learn more about. Like, yeah, I'm getting spoiled on some other shit, but hey, it's just like, ultimately, with the way the series was going, the way, like, just this, the series itself, and just like the direction, the story, and characters, I was just like, this is something I would actually like to watch. It's a shame that there's over 1,000 fucking episodes, but yeah.
How you doing, man?
Okay, I've watched One Piece, or basically up to the time skip all the way once, and then I've rewatched it again once, and then I've rewatched some of my favorite
How many
arcs
episodes is that?
That's
multiple
like
times.
500-600
I
episodes.
fucking know.
Yeah, that really is. Like, cause I say, you know, I got through East Blue, which is the first arc, and then Baroque Works, which is either like the second or the third arc. It was sometime after Chopper got introduced, and it was sometime when it's like they had the princess on and they were escorting her. It was like around Nico Robin's introduction. That's when it was. And that ultimately took me a few weeks. I'm not gonna lie, that took me a few weeks to get through.
No, it is, and this was back when I had time to watch anime, and I would just like whenever I had time, I'm just like,
When you
Man,
said
you really-
rewatch, right? I thought you were talking about like, oh, I've rewatched the Water 7 arc,
thought
or
about it.
I've rewatched Alabaster. I didn't think you
Man,
rewatched.
you're really showing your age. You need years to rewatch that, man. No wonder you're older than me. Like, fuck. Man, you need like 10
I
years.
love how you compensate and be like, no, only up until the before the time skip. I'm like, it's still like 400 episodes.
no, okay, which is
It is still 400 episodes. It's a fuck ton of time.
why, like, I was having trouble putting a shonen on, because I'm just like, is there any shonen that I actually truly love that I would, you know, think that I would go back anytime? Because I was gonna put Yu Yu Hakusho, and I was thinking,
What, 7 Deadly Sins gone?
no, yeah, okay.
Oh god, no. Fuck Seven Deadly Sins. Seven Deadly Sins is arguably the worst shonen series I have ever had the misfortune of watching. Now, I will say, animation-wise, Season 1, actually pretty good. It actually is pretty good in the animation department. And I'll even say, as just kind of something to shut your brain off with, Season 1 is sort of, it's fun. It's fun because you get the feeling going in Season 1, you think, oh, well, you know, like, this is just going into Season 1, you think, oh, you know, it's just, it's fun, it's just, like, they're not really taking anything seriously, because, like, you know, it's just, like, they have all these, like, they set up all these different, like, power ceilings, and then you have just these 4 to 5 characters that just go, nope, fuck you, we're absolutely powerful than that, and it makes you think, this is kind of like what One Punch Man does to, like, the superhero genre and so on and so forth, where it's just like, with One Punch Man, like, you have all these different characters that have all these cool powers and all these, like, they have all these, like, tragic backstories, so on and so forth. They have so much build-up, and then Saitama comes in and absolutely just is the anticlimax. He makes everything just reduce to just absolutely nothing. He sells none of it. And You think going into the first season, you think, oh, well, Seven Deadly Sins is kind of like that. No, it's worse. Because, the first season, if you were to only watch the first season, okay. But if you went on to second and so on forth, and they even have, like, a newer series now, oh god, is it so fucked. Because it's so, I want to say contrived. Seven Deadly Sins is just too fucking contrived. And it's so... It feels like it borrows, and not even borrows. It feels like it rips off from what other anime series do, but not really understanding what they do. Like, for example, in second season, they open out the gate with this demon earring or so, and it's supposed to have like, hey, this is the power levels. These are like the power levels. This is just how strong the Seven Deadly Sins are, and it just makes a lot of the it makes a lot of the inconsistencies with the power scaling and everything. The power scaling, it makes it so so fucking tenuous. I think it's the word I'm looking for, because these characters are already fucking powerful as hell in Seven Deadly Sins, but then you go out of your way to incorporate power levels. And then you just, it just incorporates power creep. And, it's just... Instead of... This is the problem that happened with Dragon Ball later on. And this is why they dropped power levels. Is because it became just so fucking inconsistent. It became such bullshit. It really did. Instead of becoming something where it's becoming a frame of reference to where it's just okay, so this character is this strong. How am I going to outwit them? Or how am I going to, fight them and be smart with it? It became, no, my number is bigger than you. It became a dick measuring contest. That's what it came.
No, my love for Seven Deadly Sins, right? But One Piece to me will go down when it finishes. Will go down as it already is one of the greatest anime / manga series of all time.
Yeah,
I will agree on that. One Piece. A lot of people, complain about, with One Piece and the pacing and just how long the series are. And, I get it. I understand. Yeah, it's absolutely, for newer viewers, unless you are willing to make that trek, unless it's, your job, to react to anime or whatnot, it's a bitch and a half to absolutely try and get through One Piece now, especially nowadays. It is one of those shows where it's you had to have been interested in it, from day one or so, very early on, or just it's just not going to, you're just never going to be able to be finished with it. You're just never going to be able to be finished with it. Oh my god. But ultimately, with that said, One Piece has this such long-ass pacing. Even the manga, even though much of the time cuts down, it's still massive. But with One Piece, you need that time. You need that pacing, because One Piece covers everything about the world building, covers everything about the characters. They will cover multiple episodes about, certain details on the world and the characters, and it makes you feel so, it just makes it feel so emotional. I have said this before, and it's the greatest strength in certain weaknesses, it has its world building, but it also, One Piece has this massive cast of characters. But to the series' credit, it has so much time and so much space to really pace itself out to where the cast is bloated, but you can ultimately, you can let that go, because, there's so much time to really get to know these characters, and so much time to really see these characters grow and, mature, so on and so forth. Whereas with the series say, My Hero Academia, the problem is that it has, relatively a normal pace as a normal shonen series in the grand scheme of things. I'd say relatively shorter, but it has such this bloated cast to the point where it's just it's not that the characters, I personally, when it comes to My Hero Academia, it's not that the characters are bad, it's that there's just too many of them. Comparing One Piece to, My Hero Academia, both series have, characters with very tragic backstories and dark moments, dark elements. One Piece handles it better, because when it's, a serious moment, or there's some very dark undertones or underlying tones, with some characters, they'll actually be confirmed to actually have been slaves, and they don't hold back on the imagery. Like, it's very fucking gruesome, it's very fucking horrific. With My Hero Academia, like, there are characters that have dark backstories and, you know, tragic pasts, so on and so forth, and, you know, we get told about that, we see parts of it, but we don't actually see it unfold. And I feel like with My Hero Academia storytelling, when it comes to certain characters, that's what holds it back. But with One Piece, no, they go all in with it, and it's very memorable. Like, I remember watching the whole story with Chopper and crying near the end, just because of how depressing it fucking was. Like, oh my god. Oh man. One Piece is a good show. I hope that I made that clear.
But to me, when I think back, because One Piece isn't the perfect show, right? Yeah, I've rewatched One Piece, so
No, I don't,
like,
does anyone claim it is?
yeah, no, like everyone forgets about the lows of One Piece. Everyone forgets about the fucking
Sky Island.
Sky Island. I wasn't a fan of the Foxy arc, which was a filler canon arc that everyone doesn't talk about. You know what?
Forgot about
You know what I mean?
What are these names? What are these
This is... This whole conversation is an example of people who are One Piece fans versus people who aren't One Piece fans. I think there's a meme from Prosy D where he's just saying, like, random fucking names for arcs and certain shit, and, like, this one dude's just, like, he's not understanding any of this. Like, that's kind of the thing about being a One Piece fan. You have so many, like, arcs that One Piece fans can absolutely, like, if I were to say, you know, oh, like, one of my favorite arcs is the Kuja Pirates arc, like, people know what I'm talking about. But everyone who's One Piece fan is like, what the fuck are Kuja Pirates? Wait, okay, what? Oh my god.
They don't sound fucking real.
Dressrosa was like it was way too long. It was dragged out to shit, but nothing, in my opinion, can touch the highs of One Piece. When One Piece is at its best, right? Yeah. I think it is the greatest thing you can find in anime.
I will stand by and say, even though I've watched every Maeda Jun anime,
yeah,
I've cried more times watching One Piece than any other show.
I will side with that because, again, the characters are really fucking good. I remember, like, one of the first big backstories they showed was towards Sanji. And, oh my god, it's just, like, it's very early on, so I'm not worried about spoilers, but when Sanji is, like, Sanji grew up, like, pretty much just on the ship and whatnot, and he ended up, like, deserted on this rock with some dude. And it's just, like, he only had so much food, and he had to wait until, like, they got help or rescue, and they just saw, like, this one big dude who just was hoarding this giant bag and thought, you know, he's hoarding all that food to himself. Like, oh my god, like, what? It's just a fucking greedy asshole. So Sanji actually had to ration his food until help came, to the point where it was moldy and everything, and then, like, he just was fed up, so he went to the big dude, and he just decided to steal some of the stuff in his bag, which he thought was food, tears open, and he realizes all of that is gold and jewelry. The dude had no food whatsoever. So they had absolutely, like, they had all this money and everything, but was fucking worthless because they were stranded on a rock in the middle of fucking nowhere in the sea, with virtually no hope of coming. No hope of help. No hope coming. They were gonna die out there with just a bunch of treasure. Like, that's one of those moments where it's just like, oh my god, this is actually sad. And fuck. One Piece, I know I've said this already. One Piece is a really good show. I love it.
You have that many episodes, something's gonna hit, right?
Yeah.
Like, fuck me.
But
No,
in places that I wasn't expecting.
No. I mean, like, there's plenty of shows that have a lot of episodes
Yeah.
and haven't had the highs that One Piece has.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know, Sazai-san, man, has some pretty... Doraemon,
How do you know anything about
Doraemon has some pretty high highs, man.
But, like, what I find amazing about One Piece is it's been going on for, like, what, 20 years now?
Almost 30 now.
Almost, like, I can't remember when it started. I think it started in
96.
98 or 96, something like that.
Yeah.
But I remember I've just caught up with the manga with, like, the Wano arc, which is now one of the longest arcs. It's so long that it has 3 parts. And it still has moments that make me feel fucking magical. This is like One Piece is like like I watch some of the best moments in One Piece, and I get reminded. This is why I fucking love anime. This is why I fucking love manga. This is why I love this medium.
Did the author of One Piece like intend for it to be as long as it is? Or was it just like fuck? It's just popular. I guess I'll keep going.
I think he had planned, because the thing about One Piece is that it's this long, and yet there's foreshadowing that's happened like fucking hundreds of chapters.
He's
ago.
not from this planet.
Okay, so I will say this as someone who like actually had some level of experience with writing, not like going to school or anything, but I've like written my own I've written my own type of like little web novel series. Don't look it up, it's shit. I will just say that right now. It was written when I was like in middle school. It's fucking shit. I will own up to that. I will own up to my own shitty writing. But I will say this is that when I was making it, like I had a rough idea of what I wanted, but ultimately, when it came to like the details in the middle, I was stumped because I had to actually think about that. And I feel like it's kind of the same from my perspective, it's kind of the same for Oda, where it's like, he knows what he wants to make for One Piece, and he knows what he wants to do, but in between those moments in the middle, he's just like, I've got this huge world, how am I going to explore it? And so, I think, honestly, he does, like, a number of research, because you can correlate a lot of the, stuff and fictional elements towards real world elements and social commentary, like the Sun Warriors, the Sun Pirates. It's led by a revolutionary that frees slaves. That has some real world connotations, some real world reference to it. Like, there is like, and there was a whole thing where it's just like the Celestial Dragons are a bunch of these rich white fuckers who enslave others and force them to do the work. And then you have this revolutionary who just decides to free slaves and everything, and then so much so that, like, the Sun Pirates, some of the pirates actually, like, they have, like, these brands, like, the Celestial Dragons branded their slaves. So, then some pirates have these, like, just put a brand over the mark, and it's just covering up that's covering up the Celestial Dragon mark to make it look like, just like a picture of a sun. So that way, it was a way to symbolize truly to be free. They were turning their own pain into something that they were legitimately, like, they could actually be happy for, in a sense. I know that's kind of spoilerish, but not really. Like, because where I heard that, I didn't necessarily say who or what happened or whatnot, but it's a part of the, like, it's just a part of the, like, the series where it's just, like, attention to detail towards real world references and everything.
That is being explored now, right? And I think he didn't expect it to be this long, but when he got popular, he realized he can explore basically every idea that he wanted.
A lot of people I feel kind of undermine Oda just because it's like, oh, yeah, he made One Piece, but whatever, it's so long, blah, blah, blah. But I think people, when you look deep into it, people really undermine his skill for storytelling. Because,
I mean, again, let's be honest, you have to be to keep how many people, like, captivated for
he's been number one.
Yeah, because, like, here's the thing, too. Look at other shonens. Like, take a look at the other big three, right? One Piece was one of the big three. What were the other two? Naruto and Bleach. Now, when it came to Naruto and Bleach, there is ultimately a lot of debate, but there are multiple people who do think that it has gone, like, at time, it has gone downhill. I'm not even talking about the second series. I'm talking about, like, later arcs in Shippuden and whatnot. Like, people will say that, Naruto has had some very low moments, and it's kind of gone down in quality compared to how it started. Bleach, there's a lot of debate over whether or not it should have continued after everything with Soul Society and Aizen. And I can make a whole discussion on that, whatever. But with One Piece, the main criticism towards it, from people who don't actually watch it, is that it's so fucking long. Which is a legitimate criticism. But when you actually take a look just into a part of it, like, I have watched, I have binged, while I was working, the East Blue and the Baroque Works arcs, which are, like, the first few arcs of the actual series. And I actually absolutely love the hell out of it. But just the amount of attention to detail with that, compared to just and putting together how much attention to detail the man has for storytelling and world building later on, like, absolutely, it is so phenomenal just how he's been managing to keep up time and time again. Again, it has its lows, but at the same time, like, again, like, even early on, can't deny that it has some really great moments, like with Nami. Like, absolutely, just the first time we really get some backstory to Nami, it is one of the, like, saddest, heartbreaking, just stories I have ever seen, and it is so, like, back to what I was talking about with My Hero Academia and One Piece into its dark moments, it is so fucking, like, dark and graphic, and it's just, they hang on it, and it's just, like, it makes you feel exactly how you should feel, and so it's, like, I love how they handled it.
One on Shonen Jump for the past, like, 15 years.
Yeah.
You don't do that by luck.
No,
you
no,
don't.
no,
it's
no,
not
no,
luck. No. You don't...
And like what I find amazing is it's been going on this long, and it's not it's not only still got fucking amazing moments in it, even in some of the greatest in some of the latest chapters and some of the latest moments. But two, no matter how far you go into One Piece, you feel like there's still an upswing. You still feel like he hasn't peaked yet. Yeah. And like, how would you write a story that's like almost 1,000 chapters long, and you still think, man, there's an upswing coming. There's something greater coming.
It's insane. Every time a new arc started, and I would keep up to date with like what the manga readers were saying, everyone would be like, how is it that the next arc is even better?
Sorry for pausing so much, but it's just like I didn't want. I'm trying to do this so that like nobody gets on my ass for it's just like, oh, all right, well, you're just sitting and then looking at nothing, and then you're just sitting and looking at videos and stealing other people's content without actually, talking and giving your thoughts. Like, I don't want to give people the fucking benefit of the doubt for that, benefit for saying that shit. But just to add on to that, right, it's just, it feels like, with One Piece, I want to say, like, it's constantly this isn't even my final form moment, but it legitimately feels like, you're invested to see, like, it doesn't feel as a whole, it doesn't feel like you're dragging this out for far longer than it should be. No, it feels like this is kind of like build-up after build-up after build-up, and it is just, and even within those build-ups, it's not just blue balling, it is payoff after payoff after payoff. So, build-up and payoff, until you're getting to the point where you're just, like, waiting on this major payoff. Like, I think that's, to sum up, One Piece story progression in a nutshell.
Yeah.
How does it keep getting better?
Yeah,
I thought this was the peak of One Piece, and then it just keeps getting better.
How does the hot dog stand arc keep just blowing me away? How does the Adventure Supreme arc keep blowing me away, man?
He jokes, but I wouldn't be surprised if those were actual arcs in One Piece.
That's the names don't make fucking sense.
No. It is literally that Pro ZD video where he talks about anime.
I fucking talked about this. I just said this. Yeah, that's literally One Piece.
Names. And like any One Piece fan who's watched that video knows that he's just calling out One Piece fans.
Ah, shit. Is my internet down again? Give me a sec.
And like any One Piece fan who's watched that video knows that he's just calling out One Piece fans. Joey was just talking.
There we go.
Because we were literally talking about this video before the podcast started, and we were just me and Joey were just talking about the Big Mom arc.
Yeah.
And then Connor was just like, oh yeah. Wait.
That's a real arc.
Are you guys serious?
I thought they were joking because it was like Big Mama's house or something. I thought it was the joke, like that.
But I felt that, right? Like when I remember when I watched the Alabasta arc in One Piece, I was like, this is the greatest thing ever made.
Yeah.
And then Water 7 came out. I was like, how is it getting better?
And then the Whitebeard arc came out.
Guys, I hate to rush you, God, but we have 9 anime to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so since I think they're going to move on, this is the last thing I'll say about it. Luffy, compared to other protagonists, is very his own unique character. I know, like, a lot of from the outside in, very much it's just you can see Luffy just being like, oh, he's nothing about meat. He's just about eating. He's about meat and he's eating. He's like a rubber Goku, and like to a degree there is some truth to that. But what's interesting about Luffy is you can look at this early on too with One Piece is that he's very much an observer, because he'll look at certain characters. And he'll look at certain characters pitted in conflicts and say, okay, how are you going to do this? What is going to be your reaction? What are you going to do? Because like he's got these rubber powers, and he's like basically he's OP as fuck, which is why they have to kind of cripple him or leave him out of the story early on. I feel like Oda kind of realized the problem with making him a damn near unstoppable fighting machine early on. So we're like, all right, we gotta cripple him, which is why they have him like underwater drowning for a good majority of episodes. But when it comes to Luffy, he, like, it very much, like, you can see early on, he just observes, he sits and watch what other characters do, because they're put in, like, conflicts where it's just, like, it feels like he's not really the hero. He's not really the main protagonist, the main character, so to speak, sorry. He's the protagonist, but he's also his own person. He knows this, you can kind of tell in his heart, he just feels like everyone has their own battles, and it's not really my place to interfere yet. Where it'll come to the points where it's like, he will interfere, but only after he's seen what the person does in response. Like, that's throughout One Piece's early chapters. And I really like that take of, I really like how he writes Luffy. Honestly, Oda.
I don't care.
So, come on.
I can talk about One Piece to the fucking sun goes down.
Because frankly, I don't really want to hear your opinions on either. I honestly do not care.
No. I already know your opinions on
Evangelion,
Eva. I already know your opinions on Your Name. I already know your opinions on Fate.
Bakano is like saying, I like coming. Like, of course it's gonna, like...
Bro! Can you blame anybody for liking Bacchanal? It's a fucking great-ass show.
You know.
Bakano is like, I like sex. Of course you do.
And it's just fun. It's just fun.
And then we've gushed over Haruhi, obviously,
Right,
and like
right.
how Disappearance is fucking amazing.
Lock Horizon as well. Okay, I'm happy.
Haruhi I also really love. I went back and watched it like later on, and I realized it kind of actually, like, the character like chemistry and everything, it actually holds up a lot better now than I thought it did when I was a kid. And Disappearance of Haruhi to me absolutely good. I also like the spin-off around Nakato Yuki, which basically took, like, the other world from Disappearance and just, like, said, what if we roll with that and make that, like, you know, the actual world that Gyon lives in? They went with that, and I was just like, you know what? This actually is a pretty interesting story. It doesn't have, like, any of the unorthodox shit that Haruhi Suzumiya had, but pretty much it is a very wholesome slice of life, a rom-com series. If anyone wants to check it out, it's called The Disappearance of Nakato Yuki-chan. And it is a very, it's a very wholesome slice of life series that ships Kyon and Nagato together. Which the series also kind of did, but this kind of goes more for it.
I'm excited to see that.
Yeah, because like I was thinking back to, because like obviously I'm the fucking isekai man, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking like Lock Horizon is the isekai I come back to because it's the only isekai I've rewatched. Okay,
Oh, really?
out of everything, like ReZero I watched
you haven't?
because it was my job. You know what I mean? That was literally the only reason I watched ReZero. Lock Horizon is the only isekai I've come back to be like, man, there were some good fucking moments in this, and I
Yeah.
really want to re-experience some of these ideas that.
I would have to go back and watch Lock Horizon because I watched it once. First season, I actually kind of dug on about how, like, you know, they were stuck in that world, and they basically were just like, all right, well, we're going to be stuck here for a while. Let's figure this shit out. How are we going to live here? I kind of like that. And I feel like, but in terms of, like, I feel like that lack of, it felt at times like it lacked sort of, like, drive or sort of passion or sort of purpose, in a sense. After a certain point when the character's just like, all right, we live here now. Pretty much, yeah. It kind of felt like that. I don't know. Maybe I should go back and watch Lock Horizon. Maybe. But, I don't know, it just kind of felt like to me like that. I feel like the series that actually got it down, like, got the idea of what Lock Horizon was going for down, but better, Tensura. like Tensura, I feel did try to do what Log Horizon do, but ultimately it did it. In my opinion, it did it better because it very much is kind of similar. It was just like you have this character in another world, and he just decides to live there. But very much, I feel like what Tensura does is very commendable because I've rarely ever seen something like what it does in other isekai series or even other fantasy series, honestly. So yeah, I feel like what it does ultimately through and through, even towards like the newer chapters, yeah, I actually do love it, and I do think I don't know, but I guess I would have to go back and watch Log Horizon before I like have that be my word is law type moment, because it's been a while since I've watched Log Horizon, but all I remember about it is being like better than SAO, and I will stick to that.
Well, season 3 is out.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna rewatch
I
it.
think now, yeah.
Yeah, it's out this season, so I'm probably gonna Log Horizon's the only like pure isekai right now that I can like recommend without. It's got no catch. Like it's not like ReZero where it's like, oh, it's a time loop catch. You know, that's the interesting thing about it. Log Horizon is just
Hey guys.
Yeah.
There's a gimmick.
Log Horizon is just an isekai that is just a good isekai.
No,
And
I absolutely
I agree.
fucking
I agree.
defend
It
that.
deserves to be. It has its place there. I'd say.
Yeah.
I just can't get over the fact that you unironically like Orima.
Okay. Here we are. Orimo was a good show until the last part. I think I think anybody who's watched Orimo and liked it, I think can attest to this, where it's just like it is an alright show. Orimo is an alright show, but then like the last few episodes are just like it feels ugh. That's about as much as I can say about that.
Okay.
I just
okay.
like for the longest time I'm
What
like
is Orimo about? I thought it was like the child one.
incest.
Yeah, oh, that's it, right?
It's not about incest.
It is a
I swear to God, Mom, it's not about incest.
about
incest just happens in it.
It is
It's
about
not
Just give him a shovel. Let him dig that hole for himself.
There's
it is about it is
Fucking Connor's face. Watch this.
it is about
incest
incest.
just happens in it.
It is
it's
about-
not about it. There's
It is about
Do you see it? The moment he's like, it's not about incest.
it is
It's
about
not about it. There's
It is
You can just see it like, bro. What the fuck are you on about? What do you watch? It's like,
it is
There's
about
a key.
no.
There's a key
whoa.
fucking difference
Whoa,
between
whoa,
the
whoa,
two,
whoa.
Mister.
It is about incest and best girl getting cocked. That's what that show's about.
You can't just
you know the sad thing is, you could say that about more than one anime, honestly. The sad thing is, you could say that about more than one anime. It's about incest and best girl getting caught. And that's how depraved anime can get.
say there's incest in it, like it's like a scent of a flavor. Like you can't just drop that in there and be like, oh, there's also incest in it. Like what? What do you mean? Is this a small thing, incest to you?
It is something. Okay, so
This is that moment where this is like that moment of trying to explain anime to your parents, and it's just like, look, Mom, look, no, I swear, it's just like look, she just looks 10, but she's actually 1,000 years old. Like, it's like that moment.
so let me defend this.
Incest 4K edition.
I'm a fucking do it, man. I'm a fucking do it. I don't care this. Like, watch this clip get me cancelled in like 4 years, or like fuck 4 years. Watch this clip get me
4 minutes.
Get me,
Bro, his wife likes. I don't think anyone can cancel him considering what his wife likes.
cancelled in like 1 month. You know what I mean? Okay. Everyone forgets that Orimo was a legitimately good fucking show when it first aired.
I'm gonna have to stop you right there.
It was a
I'm
good
gonna have to stop
show.
you right there.
Like
It was okay. It was a legitimately decent show. I will say that it was a legitimately decent show when it started out. but as time went on, yeah.
Everyone thinks I put Orimo on the same level as something like Eromanga Sensei. No, fucking Eromanga Sensei was trash from episode 1, and it knew it was trash. And Eromanga Sensei is what happens when you take all the trashiest parts of Orimo and put that into a show. Orimo was a nice, wholesome look at otaku culture, and
With incest.
and the thing is,
Forgot that little tidbit, didn't you?
the thing is, when it was airing, everyone was just like, "Oh yeah, this is a parody of all like the incest light novels and everything like that, right? This is just mocking."
Your Honor, it was but a parody.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look at the earlier episodes, and yeah, it will kind of feel a little like satire, a little like parody.
Stuck my penis in the
everyone
child for a
thought
parody.
everyone thought that it was just taking the piss out of like, you know, the little girl emoto fucking craze happening in anime and light novel. And if you don't watch the final 3 episodes, you can watch the entire series of Orimo and just think that. And then the final 3 episodes happened.
Yep.
And
Yeah, that sparked an outcry, didn't it?
Yeah, they got fucking married!
it sparked an outcry, right? It definitely because the reason it sparked an outcry was because no one was actually expecting it.
Yeah, it went from like 20% incest to 99% incest.
Oh, it was
Pretty much.
100%.
It was 100%.
Yeah,
It was
pretty much.
There was no percentage that could be shaved off. It went full incest, and it was unapologetic
you
about
fully
it.
admit that it went full incest.
No, yeah.
Yet it's in your top 9 anime.
Because the reason it's okay, I've rewatched it because it
You've
is.
rewatched it.
Yeah,
You've
yeah.
got multiple enjoyment.
I've already said I've rewatched everything on this list.
I don't even want to see your
And
porn
Was Joey about to say, how do you live with yourself?
history.
Because this show, like, this show is the epitome of everything I love about trashy harem manga and anime. It's
This-
When you say that, it just sounds like satire. You know what I mean?
it is
It
not.
sounds like satire.
It is not. Okay, so remember
It kinda is. It really kinda is.
when you went through my anime list and I gave Ikitosen a 2?
Yeah.
So like back when I was a teenager, I was just like,
You couldn't appreciate incest.
Yo, I'm better than this fan service shit. I'm better than this trashy anime. I got good fucking taste.
Right.
This is the show that fucking changed all that. When I was just like, why am I enjoying this so much? Why do I like this fucking filth trash show?
Why
I
do
mean, look,
have-
look, I
why
mean,
do I have
look.
a hard-on
I mean,
for
look,
this?
I have shows like that.
Yeah.
Like Kiss Sis being a perfect example.
Yeah, I was about to.
I didn't put it in my fucking.
Oh. I argue that Kiss Exodus is worse. I'd argue that Kiss Exodus is far worse. I argue that incredibly much. I'd argue that it's incredibly worse. Oh, God. Like, I get having, like, dumpster fires and whatnot, because anybody who knows me knows, like, what I like. Because, like, I like killing bites. And I know it's an absolute garbage fire, and that's why I like it. But it's just like, just move on.
3x3.
Yeah, this man ain't putting incest in his
Yeah.
fucking top 9,
Yeah.
Don.
In the middle of all places.
I will fucking. That was a legitimate, deliberate choice. I put it in the middle because I'm just like, this show. This single show has probably had the biggest overall effect on my taste in modern anime.
You literally fucking made Orihime out to be like the free space in a bingo card. You know what I mean? It's just like, of course I'm gonna open this.
I fucking did it, and because it is a fucking trashy anime, right?
Yeah.
There are trashy moments in it, but
Yeah.
I think I will defend the point that Orihime wasn't complete trash. There were some legitimately good, heartwarming moments in it, and it wasn't complete. It wasn't all trash. Okay, it wasn't Eromanga Sensei.
it really was.
Okay,
It wasn't
Don,
Eromanga
just-
Sensei.
You're going to jail, buddy.
Eromanga Sensei is Orihime reskinned. That's all it is, and you have to admit to that.
No, I don't.
You have to admit to it.
Eromanga Sensei is the trashiest parts of Orimo concentrated. It is dense Orimo.
Your Honor,
it is
I
dense
didn't know
Orimo.
she was 12. I'll be honest, Your Honor. Like,
Ladies and gentlemen, this man has the largest anime YouTube channel on the platform.
he also...
And this is what he's saying.
I'm
Likes
I'm
incest.
fucking proud of this shit. I put it. I literally put this stuff front and center, and I regret.
You know, honestly, I probably, I probably should do like an anime 3v3 with like some of my friends, just live on stream at some point. I gotta hit them up, see if they'd be down for that.
It's
Get it out of here.
nothing.
Get it out of
I
here.
regret
Let's get outta
fucking
here.
nothing.
That is on my computer now, and I can't wait to use it as blackmail.
Ha!
Gentlemen,
Let's check
gentlemen,
out-
here is
oh.
my 9. My arguably the strongest 9 we've had today.
Okay, do you want to go from top left to bottom right?
Okay, so let's see here. Hunter x Hunter, Golden Time. Fuck, I don't know this one. Ping Pong, Sakamoto. I think that's Kaiju. I know, like, I know this anime. Just can't for the life of me remember the fucking name. Mob Psycho. And I think that's... Fuck! I know some of these anime, and then there's also JoJo. Like, these 3 shows I know, but I feel like I can't remember the name.
Hunter x Hunter, Golden Time, Bokurano,
Bokurano, that's what it is.
Ping Pong Animation, Sakamoto, Kaiji, Mob
Kaiji.
Psycho 100, Banana Fish, and JoJo.
Banana Fish! I was like, something with a B.
I'll tell you what this is. This is the guys. I have good taste in anime.
Good? What do you
Like-
mean?
like-
How?
like
You
guys,
genuinely
guys,
like,
Okay, in his defense, they are good shows, but...
guys, you want to know what personality I have? Absolutely no fucking. personality.
I'm sorry that I don't like incest, guys.
You know, at that point, I mean, he's got you there.
on my list.
This
It's
is
like,
the-
where's the lack of incest?
This is the I cite my sources in my video like levels of like anime taste. You know what I mean?
What? No, bro. These are legitimately. If I had to use a name like the top 9 shows that I have and like a little bit of variation in genre, this would be it.
No, because I
Why?
look at this list and I'm just like, yeah, this is what my 9x9 would be if I literally went through my like modern Mao and just picked the top highest rated anime on that Mao.
Yeah, I'm trying
you know
to
what
tell
I
you.
mean?
I'm trying to tell you my fucking taste in anime, gone, and this is my taste.
I don't know, man. Like
I'm
this
sorry
is,
that it's too normy for
this
you
is
guys.
no, it's not even normie. It's try hard.
No,
That's what it feels.
I kind of get that feeling as well. Because here's the thing. Out of all those shows, there's not a single bad show. Hell, you could argue Mob Psycho at that point in time could be considered a bad show, but at the same time, the show is ended now, so you can't really argue much. It's a really good show. The problem is, it's like 9 really good shows, and it's just like, what? It's just, it feels too, in some ways it feels too elitist to me. Like, as someone who grew up as a teen who watched anime, it feels too elitist where it's just like, I only watch the good stuff. You gotta watch the good stuff instead of, you know, it's just like having that at least one guilty pleasure or one show that generally people just fucking hate.
Feels like.
Legit. This is legit my favorite 9
Either that or one show that's absolutely just fan service.
shows.
Okay, well, I mean, obviously, we don't have to talk about Hunter x Hunter because it's
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is absolutely amazing. It's, the fucking creator is an absolute, like, he knows what he's doing with the anticlimaxes. Golden Time, it's a good romance series. Sakamoto, it's funny comedy gag series. Mob Psycho, absolutely a gem of entertainment. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like the show, hate some of its fans.
We've talked about Golden Time.
Golden
It's
Time is
great.
like my favorite.
We've talked
like,
about
romance.
Bokurano.
Yeah.
Ping pong.
I
Can you
fucking love
can you
ping
talk
pong.
about ping pong?
100%. Right.
I love ping pong.
Ping pong, right?
Yeah.
Is other than like Mob. Okay, that's also why I love Mob for similar reasons.
Okay.
Like ping pong is like one of the only animes, right? You get all these fucking stupid animes where the guy's OP as fuck.
Yeah.
Like no one fucking gives a shit, right? Like okay, wow, Kirito is a giant dick again, right? Cool. We have another isekai. Oh, they're overpowered. Or, oh, they have an ability that's unique to them.
Yeah.
You know what? Real life sucks, man. No one has a unique ability. And I really liked there was a fucking anime that was like, bro, life kind of sucks, man. Sometimes people are just gonna be better at things that you love, even if they hate it. That's what, but that was so real, and it
Right.
hurt, man. It hurt because I've been on both sides of the ping pong like animation, like the
Yeah.
characters. I've,
Yeah.
I've been talented at something that I fucking hated, and I felt bad for people who really wanted to be.
I imagine, more or less, if I had made an anime 3v3 and I showed it to my friends, it would signify that I'm the type of person who likes to get fucked up. I'm the type of person who likes to go in and absolutely wants to have their heart ripped out. Because I like some pretty dark and heartbreaking, messed up, fucked up shit.
Be good at that thing
Right.
that I was good at, and I've also tried my fucking hardest at something, and you speak Japanese fluently at birth. So, you know, I've been on both sides of the spectrum of ping pong anime. So, you know, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, really,
Ping pong. What I call ping pong. It's a life anime.
yeah, it hurt because I was like, fuck, you really had to like pull that out of me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that made me a little like, god damn, okay, yeah, you.
Wait, okay, then I'm curious. Have you seen March Comes in Like a Lion?
No,
Okay, because I think if you loved ping pong, you would love.
everyone has
March
told
Comes
me
in Like-
that.
Yeah.
Because March Comes in Like a Lion is the complete opposite. March Comes in Like a Lion is about a genius who can't understand the idea of losing,
Yeah,
right? But that in itself is what's causing him to lose in real life.
yeah.
So it's literally the opposite of ping pong. But
That's
also
just like
fits
the
same
school
theme.
when they're like, you're a gifted child, and they can't fucking do anything later on. In life.
Right.
I'm trying to think, because, like, there's been a few anime where it's just, like, I feel like, you know, they handled the whole, like, power situation and power dynamic in the grand scheme of things very well. And the one thing that can come to the top of my head is Haikyuu. Because, like, what I like about it is that, it's, you know, at first it comes off as just, like, you know, this high school volleyball team, and they're like natural born prodigies, or they're just like they're absolute, like they've got the best dynamics and the best characters, and then as time goes on, it's just like in some events go on, you kind of start like they actually do kind of show, like, you know, they're not the best. They absolutely do have their limits, or they're just people that are gonna be better than them. I don't know, I like that. Oh, and there's also Assassination Classroom, which absolutely, like, it shows that, you know, the kids, you know, they're, like, even by their teacher, they constantly get bested. They constantly fail. And as time goes on, like, you know, they constantly show, you know, they might have, some talents here and there, and they might have, some legs up and everything. But there's also times where it's just, like, as time goes on, it's just, like, you feel like they're just pitted against, they're pitted against a system that ultimately is governed against them and just is trying to make them lose. I don't know. It's just
Right, exactly. I mean, and obviously, like,
What I want to know. Why is Sakamoto there?
Okay,
Why is that? Why is
why is
why is that a top 9
that's,
anime?
that's so fucking
Okay,
funny, man.
I'm
That shit
gonna have to
claps,
stand
bro.
with my boy here.
Yeah,
like,
that's so
Sakamoto
good.
is fucking hilarious.
Sakamoto is one of the funniest animes.
Sakamoto
hands
is
down, bro.
so good.
It's so funny,
It's
man.
so funny.
You can put that shit on. It's like the Mr. Bean of anime.
Like the Mr. Bean of anime, if Mr. Bean was like a fucking like handsome
Yeah.
millionaire who was perfect in any way.
yep.
Shit's so you really gonna diss me when you just like were like, yeah, pedophilia, like brotherly love. Like,
Okay, here's what I don't understand though.
What?
Every 3x3, right? As we've established so far, and every 3x3 I've seen back when it was big, has at least one show that's shit. Like
Yeah!
Universe-
Like, it's either a show that's okay. A show that either is, like, universally, like, it's shit, or it's, like, everyone agrees it's shit, or it's a show that people generally just do not like. It is something where it's just, like, you kind of look at your friends differently from seeing that, but at the same time, you also kind of get a good idea into, like, their mindscape, and, you know, you get a good idea into, like, you know, what they're actually interested in and what they actually do enjoy. When your 3v3 is perfect animes, like, that is it doesn't really say much in the grand scheme of things. It doesn't. It doesn't really say much because all it says is just, like, you know, you have good taste, but that's it. Like, that's all it says. It's just you have good taste, but that's it. There's no, like, you have good taste, but also you like certain art shows that other people don't like because,
Personally, right?
You think
That
any
is
of these
just
shows are shit?
I think all these shows are fucking fantastic.
Well,
which is why
Well, Jerry, it's simple.
which is
I
why
just-
I have
just-
to press X to doubt.
I just don't like shit shows, Jerry. You think I'm gonna put like Maho Demon or some shit in this? No, that thing was mid as fuck.
I don't know, like, you don't have like a. Do you have a guilty pleasure anime?
Honestly, no, not really.
Really?
I don't really watch anime ever.
Bullshit.
The grand reveal.
I frankly, again, I've revealed this before. I never fucking want to rewatch anime, right? So
Right.
when I
So wait,
watch
so
this-
you wouldn't rewatch any of these?
no.
Okay.
Why would I rewatch something I've already watched?
Because it's great.
Because
No,
do you not
no,
want to
no.
re-experience it?
Not really. I'll be honest with you. I'd rather experience something different.
So there's no
But-
show
but like-
you
but
would
like-
never rewatch.
But like, have you never gotten to the point, right, where you're just tired of trying something new, and because no, you're tired of trying something new.
Why do you make it sound so sad? I'm just tired of trying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to
Just
what my
don't
friends.
this fuck.
Because sometimes you try something new and you're just like, man, this just ain't doing it for me. You just want something.
You want something that's it's comfort food.
yeah, it's
you know?
yeah.
I don't know. For me, that feels sad. It feels like you're trying to capture something that's gone in your life. You know what I mean? I don't know. It feels sad to me.
I am in this photo and I don't like it.
Like I don't know. Like you're chasing something that doesn't exist anymore in my mind.
Because
No,
like
Why,
it's
why is Malian laughing at me?
because in my mind, right?
no.
I could easily
I would-
rewatch like
no,
Sakamoto
could I
and
rewatch
Kaiji.
any of these? Yes.
Yeah.
Would I willingly do it of my own free will? No.
No,
Right.
because like to bring it the other way, like for me, watching new shows is me chasing that high. That is me chasing
Yeah.
that high that I felt with the shows I've already liked. But the more anime you watch and just the older you fucking get, that just gets harder and harder.
That's
You
why
know
I
what I mean?
don't watch much anime anymore.
And
That's the biggest like reveal of this video. God, it doesn't watch anime.
No, I do. I watch anime. I mean, I should enjoy it.
I mean, look, honestly, like, I'm feeling sus about this 3x3 just because,
Why?
again, because
Legitimately.
all 9 of these shows are like universally praised.
Are they?
It really is. It just kind of feels like, you know, it feels like you're being too good at being likable. You can be too good at being you can end up when you try being too likable, it ends up making people feel suspicious. Like, no way someone can like this can be absolutely that likable. You gotta at least have like something where it's just like some level of guilty pleasure, or some level of something where it's just like people don't generally like it, but it's just something that means something to you. Like, but this doesn't really ring that.
Right?
Is Golden Time universally praised?
Yeah,
I thought
Golden
it-
Time's fucking
I,
amazing.
It is?
I like Golden
I,
Time.
There are
I
more-
thought it was trash.
I
Like,
fucking
good-
love Golden
No,
Time.
no, Golden Time Golden Time
Look,
took
I
everything
thought it was trash. I
No.
liked it, but it was trash.
No, Golden Time took everything Toradora did and just perfected it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
yeah.
I
Like-
would literally. It's like if you like in my mind, it's like my two favorite like romance.
I have to say that about Golden Time. It definitely feels like a more mature version of Toradora. That being said, the latter half I feel falls flat in certain ways. If you've seen Golden Time, you probably know what I'm talking about.
So whatever, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toradora and Golden Time, but Golden Time felt like the better version.
Golden Time did it better.
Golden Time is my favorite romance of all time, I would think.
Really?
And yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you guys didn't like Golden Time.
No,
Why
no,
do
I
you guys
love
didn't like it?
No, I love Golden
love
Time.
Golden
Oh, well,
Time.
okay, shit, okay.
I've met less people who say they didn't like Golden Time.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't know.
Because like the thing about Golden Time is that there were flaws because who the fuck liked Banri as a character? Let's be honest. Like
okay.
like you talk.
Okay, I will say this. Bonnery had, some moments early on in the series where it's just like, he's a good character. But as time goes on, it kind of, he does have some fuck-ups and he does have some flaws. And it's just like, at some points where it's just like, it becomes very easy to hate him.
Talking about compressing your memory, like I've only just remembered that Ghost Banry was a thing, and that was just
Yeah.
something just like that was like a black spot
Yeah.
in this like amazing series that I seem to remember Golden Time. But like
Yeah.
I think back to Golden Time, and I just think this is how adult romance should be.
Yeah.
This took everything that was good, as you said about Toradora.
Toradora is, to me, what teenage romance is, how it actually plays out. Whereas with Golden Time feels more like how adult romance should play out.
And just made it better,
Yeah,
perfected it, put it
I
in
agree.
university, didn't make it like just this high school romance,
Yeah.
had enough adult elements that
Didn't have an annoying ass fucking lolly yandere.
True, she was really fucking annoying.
Yeah, she was
I
annoying.
love Kaiji the Gambler. That's one of
Kaiji's fucking amazing.
Kaiji's
one
great.
of my favorite shows, and it's sad that no one gives it a chance, but it's also weird that it's only in 720p.
Yeah,
That's really fucking weird. That no, 480p I think or something. It's-
Really?
Yeah, it was never released in
Oh
like
yeah,
1080.
yeah, it is in 480p,
It's
isn't
in
it?
480p, and
I
it's
never
such a
noticed,
shame because
yeah.
like it's such a fucking good show.
Yeah.
But it was either that or like 1 Ounce. I really fucking like 1 Ounce.
One Ounce is
Yeah,
fucking
1 Ounce is
great.
great.
I
as
fucking
well.
love. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess it looks very basic from the outside looking.
No,
in.
It's not basic. It's not basic.
Because it's not basic in the sense where
I just thought we were putting on 9 favorite shows.
Okay, basic would be like the shows immersed in pop culture. Like 9 off the top of my head: Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, primarily Shippuden, but primarily Shippuden. Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto Shippuden, Fairy Tail, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Attack on Titan. I want to say, is it wrong to try and pick up girls in a dungeon, Sword Art Online, and fucking Claudette, I guess. Either that or Angel Beats. Like, 9 shows that ultimately that is kind of on the basic level. That really kind of is. Like, having one of those shows I think is fine, but filling your entire 3v3 with just that, yeah, that's kind of basic.
It's like some of my
No, we
9
were.
favorite
But
shows.
what we're saying is that there isn't a single guilty pleasure anime here. Right, because
define
obviously-
a guilty pleasure anime. Well, like a show
Or
I know
emo.
is bad, or an emo. That's more than a guilty
Like-
pleasure.
like,
That's a criminal
no.
pleasure, Joey. I think. I don't know
Guilty
about
pleasure,
that.
in my opinion, a guilty pleasure is a show that you love no matter what, even though you know it is shit.
Yeah.
But then when I was making this 9x9, like say Dead Man Wonderland, I love Dead Man Wonderland,
Yeah,
but I
right.
never finished, and it was it was kind of mid
Yeah.
because of
I never got to finish Deadman Wonderland, honestly. I watched the anime, though, and honestly, I still don't know how I feel about it. I really don't, because it's... I don't know. It's like, I feel like it has, like, it has something going on here that I can actually really vibe with. Like, I don't know. I think it feels too... I guess dark is the word I want to put it, but it makes me seem like I just can't write like dark stories. It makes it feel it makes it feel like the world is like too dark in a sense. Because it feels like the world is ultimately pinned against this one kid who did absolutely nothing fucking nothing wrong. It feels like that. And I don't know, it's just like with Dead Man Wonderland, I feel like there are some ideas I do kind of like about it, but overall, I feel like if it was handled somewhat differently, like, I don't know, maybe it's just because of the fact that it's a prison. Maybe it's like a prison that's also a carnival or a circus or whatever. Like, I feel like that is kind of that sits with me the wrong way. That honestly kind of sits with me the wrong way. I don't know. It doesn't even feel like the series wants to go like, oh, well, this is wrong, we have to change it for the better. No. This is kind of the way things are, so we gotta live in it. And I guess, that's sort of a, I guess, nihilistic or pessimistic type series in a way, but also at the same time, like, I don't know, I just kind of feel like Dead Man Wonderland, if handled differently in certain ways, I feel like could have been an interesting series, because characters that use their own blood for weapons, that's interesting. Like, I feel like Kyokai no Kanata did sort of what Dead Man Wonderland did with Mirai Kuriyama, but better. That's why I feel it.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it's better than any of these shows for me personally.
Because like I've talked to you and I know what your tastes are basically, and I don't
You
see.
trying to call me out?
No,
Guy?
I don't really see that represented here because
Yeah.
I
Well,
know like you.
my tastes, like you know me, gone. What do you mean?
No, I mean like you
We've
love.
only hung out for a couple of years.
I'm only
Are you
like one of
calling
your
me a
mates and
liar?
everything
Are you
like
calling
that.
me a liar, gone?
We only see each other every day.
You calling me a liar? I ain't calling you for dinner.
Yeah. Like I know you love like fucking hardcore brutal shows like JoJo, Baki, Gantz.
I love that. Yeah.
I'm surprised that I thought Baki was gonna.
I thought Baki was going to be up there as well.
Yeah.
Well,
Like-
I mean, I love Baki as like because there's a few episodes in Baki the anime
Okay,
where
here-
it's like mid, but there's just so many fucking funny moments that
Yeah.
like it'll stand with me forever.
Right.
Here's the best way I can put this. I know you like Chad shows.
Ah!
that's the best way.
I like a chat show.
That's the best way I can describe
chat
Connor's
show,
taste.
yeah.
Okay.
Like, the fact that he has Sakamoto, I think, is a dead giveaway. That's a fucking... Sakamoto's a fucking Chad.
Like it's like it's just got Chad characters in it. You know what I mean?
Chad characters.
Yeah, no,
That's why I really want Connor to watch or read Fist of the North Star.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
I know you would fucking love that.
Yeah.
I like the right amount of Chad. If there's just too much Chad, sometimes it's a little too much. You know, it's like,
Says the dude who has Sakamoto on his fucking 3v3.
unrealistic.
What do you mean? You like JoJo? That's like 100% Chad.
That's a different kind of Chad. That's like that JoJo is like the built different anime. Like that's in its own league, as far as I'm concerned.
God damn it, not again.
Like, I think JoJo shouldn't even be treated as anime. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's an artwork.
But like I don't know, like in Fist of the North Star, when I see that, I don't really find it appealing because they're just like too macho. I want a bit of weakness to the character, right?
I mean, if you read it, you'll know every character is weak as fuck.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, fine.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
I think you should read it. You'll love it.
Yeah, but
it pisses me off when I'm watching an anime and the main character is like a wimp beyond comprehension and just causes so many problems for
Yeah.
himself because he's a wimp. And I'm like,
Yeah.
listen, all you had to do was just say no, and you wouldn't have been dragged off to a cult.
And
or
you're
something
talking about
like this.
Deku?
I don't know, something else. There's a lot of shows where I'm just like, this.
Okay, I will defend My Hero Academia for this. Deku is a fucking example of a kid who's pitted in a world that is he's absolutely underpowered for. And when you're... And yeah, you can look at, like, you know, a character like a Deku and be like, oh man, he's just a fucking whip, he's so fucking annoying. But when you're a kid in a world full of characters who have all these different powers and everything, like, your childhood friend is a guy that makes explosions in the palm of his fucking hands with his sweat. And bullies you on a day-to-day basis, like, yeah, you are gonna end up like a little bitch. You are gonna kind of end up like a little bitch, honestly. You are, because it's like, I will say this right here, I feel like, ultimately, when it comes to certain characters in anime, people will hate them for being weak or whiny, because ultimately it feels a little too much like self-projection. Because, yeah, like, they might, I feel like certain people who just absolutely hate on these characters look at them and think, like, you know, that used to be me, and absolutely hate that part of themselves. And, you know, that goes that can go either way, honestly, but, yeah, I feel like that whole hating on Deku, or hating on any, like, weak protagonist with a legitimate reason for being weak and everything, kind of, you know, feeds into that mindset of, like, just, I have to hate characters who are fucking weak because, you know, they're basically like how I was, and I hate that I have to fucking, like, live through this again.
Literally could have been avoided if you just, like, stood up to yourself for, like,
Right,
2
right.
seconds. Like, this whole problem. You know?
I don't know,
Yeah,
man.
I
Like,
don't know.
What do you...
I'm not
I have good
satisfied.
taste?
I'm
Is
not
that-
satisfied with
What
it.
do you want from me? What do you want from me, huh?
Just some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you expected me to have shit taste.
this is like
No.
this is like too polished.
I
You know what I mean?
Listen, I have good taste. What can I say?
I can make a better 3x3.
Go on,
for Connor
okay,
than
make
he
my
can.
3x3 for me.
Okay, it would be like I said.
and
It
I'll
would be,
say if it's fair
it
to
would
put
be
it in there.
JoJo,
Yeah.
100%.
Baki.
Baki, but like, I love Baki, but it's not in my top 9 shows.
But
Does
you
it
talk
define-
about it so often.
Yeah, but like, I love it, but I wouldn't put it higher than any of these for enjoyment in my mind.
But like it's okay because
Shows that I love and shows that I want to talk about are like different, I guess.
But it's okay. Like this is like
But
getting
then I
into
guess
like,
this we should have defined the rules more appropriately.
Right.
I when he says shows that I love, shows I want to talk about, is I don't know. I kind of feel like with certain people, it's either or, like, because it's either shows that I love and want to talk about, or it's just shows that I love and shows that I love, and then stuff that I want to talk about. Because I've met people where it's just like, they love certain series, they love certain games, they love certain films, so on and so forth, but it's just like, that's all they love. Like, and when it comes to, like, other media out there, if they talk about it, they hate it. They hate it because it's not what they, you know, it's not living up to their particular standards, or it's just like, I have a history of, like, just talking to people who are just only see the world in black and white, only see fiction in black and white, so it's just like, yeah.
Right,
Should have been like, Connor, give me the 9 shows that you think about, keep you up at night.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I did.
Well, you didn't tell me that. You said put your 9 favorite shows that represent you.
Well, like, what I don't understand is you say that like the shows I talk about and the shows I like are not the same.
Yeah.
Why would you talk about a show if it's not your favorite?
There's some shows where it's like, well, ping pong, right? It's all of it is encapsulated in the show. There's nothing more to add. I'm like, just fucking watch it. It's
But
good. Like, it's amazing. I fucking love it.
but
Watch
like-
it. I can't improve it
No, but
by talking about it.
that's the exact point, right? Because sometimes you see a good show and you're like, "Fuck me, that was a good show." Like I that was a good
I
movie.
need to talk about it.
Yeah. But sometimes you watch a show and you're like, "Man, this is sticking with me." You know what I mean? This is
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
ping pong stuck with me.
huh? Yeah,
Ping
no,
pong
no,
stuck
I'm
with me.
not saying ping pong shouldn't be on this, but like
What shouldn't be on this?
Hunter x Hunter.
Bro, dude, Hunter x Hunter, bro, that shit moved me, man. I don't know, man.
I hear you talking more about Baki than Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah.
That's because, well, okay, let's be honest, right?
Mob Psycho and Hunter x Hunter, I rarely hear you talk
Yeah,
about.
I never
at
hear you
all.
talking about these.
Okay,
At
I
all.
talk about One Punch Man more than I talk about Mob Psycho.
Right,
but
so
yeah,
why
yeah.
wouldn't One Punch Man?
Because
do
I
that?
think Mob Psycho's a better show than One Punch Man.
Well, then why wouldn't you talk about Mob Psycho if it's a better show?
Well, again, because it's a better show, and I feel like there's not much to say. It's fucking amazing. Like, just go watch it. Like,
I'm really struggling to follow his mentality here, honestly.
But this like
'cause
my favorite show.
I love Baki, right? Where I have to sit there and be like, listen, get to the part where he fucks someone and becomes extra powerful. Like, I love having that conversation. Again, if you haven't seen Baki, there is a scene where he has
It's
sex.
literally one scene.
Yeah, honestly, and that one scene is enough to be like anime of the year in my mind. Just like,
Oh my.
give it an award.
That's exactly what I'm fucking talking
No,
about.
yeah.
That's
That's
exactly.
a scene that stuck with you and you can bring up and you want to bring up.
No,
So why would
this
that
is-
not
this
be in
is-
your
no,
3x3?
It's like the way that I see it is that, like, let's say Gaunt wants to take me to like an event, and he's like, he has to specifically tell me, like, Connor, don't bring up the Baki sex scene to like my friends. That's the level of like, I just want to talk about it like that. It's not like it's defined my taste. It's for some reason I just want to talk about that scene and how fucking weird it is.
Because like I like kind of talking to you, I know what kind of shows you would like. You know, you look at someone's 3x3 and you can like recommend some shows that they would like. For example, like I knew, for example, that you would love a show like Dorohedoro. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
that
I
is
like Dorohedoro.
grimy.
It's grimy. It's a Chad anime.
Yeah, it
you
is
know what I
Chad.
mean? It's just Connor. It just
It's
If
just Connor.
I'm just gonna say, if I didn't see this 3x3,
You wouldn't
and
think it's mine.
you told me,
think
recommend me,
Banana
and
Fish is
if
like-
you, no, and if you asked me, recommend me an anime, Ping Pong is the last one I would bring up
For me?
for you.
Why?
It just doesn't seem like a show you would like.
What? I love that. That's actually like top 3 for
No,
me.
It might.
I can see it. The biggest one for me is like Mob Psycho and Hunter x Hunter.
Bro,
for
Hunter x Hunter
example.
is my favorite show of all. Shit, sorry. Hunter x Hunter is my favorite show of all time.
What about JoJo?
I don't really count that as a shonen. In my
It
mind.
is a show.
But it is a show.
because it has to be categorized. But there's no
Right.
JoJo category. But there should be, as far as I'm concerned. You know,
Okay, that's
What
fair.
what is this JoJo category then?
because JoJo is like its own beast, right? Like I can't. There's nothing you can compare JoJo to.
No,
I-
I agree with him. On that.
I disagree.
Really?
Compare JoJo to something right now. Do it, bitch.
Baki.
Fuck off.
No.
No, it's not exactly the same. It's not exactly. I'm not saying they're both the same thing.
Right.
But they give off the same kind of feeling. You know what I mean? Where it's just like there are some ridiculous fucking things happening, and you're just
To
having
some
a good
extent,
time.
yes,
No,
but
no, I'm not.
also-
I'm not saying that they're on like the same level or anything. But they give off the same vibe. Is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
But
they're
the
both.
thing
I've always said that.
They're just both fucking insane.
But the thing
and
is that
ridiculous.
a bunch of 80s and 90s shonen back then had this kind of feel to it.
yeah.
Like Fist of the North Star also has scenes where it's just like, what the fuck did I just read?
And you just recommended that to him because you think you would. No,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm
Because
saying. That's-
JoJo were like halfway through was like, right, let's just be gay now. Like that.
The one correlation I can make with a lot of these anime is that they feel very now. Like at this point in time. When was this recorded? 2 years ago? Yeah. Yeah, like over 2 years ago. I'd say over 2 years ago. And I feel like it feels like very much shows that are kind of like at that point in time in the now. Like those are shows that are like those are shows like they're either popular or they just kind of like they hit to them now instead of being like shows that kind of go more down the line of being being very more interesting essentially.
That's like I love that.
Oh no,
There's-
trust me, there's a lot of gay parts in Fist of the North
Is there
Star.
really?
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was like the manliest manly anime in existence. Like,
No.
but I guess That's pretty gay.
That is pretty gay.
Yeah.
There's a thing called bara. I don't know if you're aware of.
I was gonna say the
It's pretty
YMCA.
manly.
The YMCA music video is pretty manly.
It's pretty manly. Yeah.
But like Banana Fish is one of my favorite shows as well. Fucking love Banana
Yeah,
Fish.
Banana Fish is great.
Lionfish is a
Yeah,
good show.
but I was expecting that because you've talked about it before,
Fucking love Banana Fish.
right? You've even made a whole video on Banana Fish, so I expected that. But
So you're complaining that I picked good shows? Is that?
yes,
Yeah.
What?
because everybody's 3x3 has to have at least one show where it's
Let's
like,
see, let's
hold
see.
on a second.
Let's see if I can put a bad show that I like in my 3x3.
There's got to be at least one guilty pleasure.
See the money comment.
There's got to be. What I'm saying is, every 3x3 has
Honestly-
to have at least one shitty show that you know is shitty. you just don't care.
Look.
Honestly, what is it? The World God of Me Knows. That's a shit show.
Would you
but-
put that on you?
Honestly, yeah, probably would.
Look.
But you see, when I'm making this, right, we had like an hour to make this. I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, boom, I'm putting my favorites on there, the classics. The
Well, yeah,
big
I
ones.
did
Okay. Here's a better way I can word it. I understood more about you as a person from your hentai tastes than I did from this. Okay.
I mean, that's very.
okay.
I feel like anyone could hear my hentai taste and figure out. Connor recommends mother nose breasts. I wonder what he's into.
Yeah, that is true. I look at this and I'm like, this could be anyone's 3x3.
This was a randomly generated image
Yeah.
made by.
This is like AI. It's like
This was made by an AI learning program from like a randomly generated sample from people's top
God, that hits a little too close to home, especially nowadays.
like.
I put in the AI
But there's, like-
inoffensive 3x3. And this is what came
There's
out.
a lot of them, and like in good faith, I couldn't put on there because I'm like, I honestly don't fucking remember much from the show. So like, I don't know what to put on there. Like, so these are like the 9 shows where if you like name 9 shows that you love right away, these are the first 9 that come to my head.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
Honestly, maybe it does make sense because you think Rem is your fucking wife.
Yeah.
So
I fucking
that,
love Rem, bro.
that's just
Like,
like,
I
that's just like
I don't
zero.
think you guys-
that tells me zero about you as a person
This is
as
a
well.
3x3. This is the most vanilla 3x3. That's what it is. It's a vanilla 3x3.
Listen, I'm sorry there's no gangbang, orc rape, incest in here, okay? Is that what you want to see?
What I'm trying to say is I like good shows too, Connor.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you like Haruhi Suzumiya, Evangelion, and Black Lagoon, the most 2000s like of anime in existence.
But the fact is that
They're
shows,
good shows.
The fact is that you got something about what my
Yeah.
fucking taste is, which
yeah,
is
you
like,
can get it about this. I like good shit. Why is that hard to
Again,
understand?
I look at this. This could be any one of our fans.
You can get it about this. I like good shit. Why is that hard to
Again,
understand?
Literally, it screams like this is the last, like, since Hunter x Hunter was like 2011, I think, and like what was, oh man, what was, fuck, I think it's like Golden Sun was like mid 2010s, I think. Yeah, so I think like every single one of these shows came up somewhere between like the last 10 years. So literally, yeah, I do kind of think he has a point.
I look at this. This could be any one of our fans.
Well, our
This
fans,
could be- this
well,
could be-
frankly, our fans have great taste.
This
might
could
I
be
add.
any one of our fans who is like trying to impress us, being like, "Yes, my favorite YouTuber. I also have good anime taste." You
What
know
do
what I
you
mean?
want to do? I have good taste. What do you want me to do about it? Have shit taste, Joe? Is that what you want from me?
Yeah, I was expecting.
Listen, I'm built different.
If I wanted anyone to have a shit taste, it was you.
No.
All right, as a bonus guest, we have Maylene, our
we
manager.
we have
Sorry,
the
sorry.
person who is managing us,
Yeah.
and I'm
Mind you, person who works for one of the biggest Japanese publishing companies.
I'm
Oh my. Okay, so Monster from the New World, Utano Prince-sama, Stardust Crusaders, Vampire Knight, Golden Kamui, The Story of Sayunkoku, Series Celestial Legend, Hakyoki Shinsegubi. Yeah, this has a variety to it, absolutely. Especially like Vampire Knight. That's a relatively dated show. Like that, absolutely. That's more taste. That is more more distinct. Like that is very much like it feels like this is someone's particular 3v3. Like they took time to make this.
proud of you, Malin, because this is the literal opposite of Connor right here. Like you were not fucking scared to go balls deep and show us who you really are.
Listen, I gave you what I really am, Don.
So let's go for
Basic.
Maylene. Let's go for
You're
Maylene.
basic.
Yeah.
You fucking said it. You're a fucking basic,
You're basic.
bitch, man.
Yo,
I have
hey,
trashy taste, but I have personality.
I gotta add, vanilla is a flavor that needs to exist, and I have that.
All right, let's go over it though. From top left to bottom right, we have Monster from the New World, Utano Prince Summer, JoJo, Vampire Knight, Golden Kamui, Story of Sayun Koku, Ceres, and Hakuoki Shinsengumi.
What the fuck is Story of Sankoku? What is that?
Do you want to explain yourself, Malin?
Yeah. Especially,
I
I'd
can't
say
explain
especially-
myself.
You know what this
Okay.
is? This is literally I like the true crime. This is I like true crime to taste. Isn't it?
It is, yeah.
You got JoJo's Monster, and then you've got all the like.
I've watched all of these at least 2 to 5 times each.
Yeah, you went
Yeah.
by the same
Yeah,
thing.
you went on the same
I
way.
did not influence her. She thought the same
Yeah.
thing. Where it's the shows you rewatch and the shows you just go back to.
Yeah, because I've heard Maylene talking about Monster, Utano Prince Summer, JoJo, Golden Kamui,
Yeah.
Shinsekai Yori. It's the bottom 3 that I'm curious about.
Oh, well, most of my body pillows are the Hakuoki Shinsei.
And that explains everything.
The bottom
Yeah,
three,
yeah.
the bottom 3 is like I am a Fujoshi.
Okay. Let me
Yeah, that's. I wasn't gonna say anything, but literally.
preface that I think out of all of us, Malin owns more body pillows than the 3 of us put together.
How many do you
easily.
own?
How many do you own?
Right now in Japan, well, I only
No, all together. Including in the US, how many do you
no,
own?
like 50. But
Oh my.
hold on, they're not all big body pillows.
That doesn't make it any better.
That doesn't. That doesn't make things better.
Guys! We're asking about the number!
And I do have bed
Alright, 5-0.
5-0 because I do have like
I'm a finna head
keychain.
out, boys. I knew Queen of Degeneracy has come along,
I
man.
even have the body spray to make the pillow smell like the official character.
Oh my. You know what we call that? You know what we call that where I'm from? We call that character.
Because
That's
why not?
awesome.
You want to know what they smell like?
Do you boys honestly want me to be like this? Is this what you wanted from me?
Yeah, honestly.
Something like that, yeah.
Weird one. This guy likes his children. He can have that. I'm gonna be normal, thank you very much. I take enough L's in the other shit I do. Might I add, I got a thorough grilling on the hentai episode for having normal taste. I'm happy to have normal taste this time.
Okay,
I don't think you got a normal growing for that. It's rather something else.
I've heard of... I've watched Ceres, actually.
That one's incestuous.
Yeah, that is very incestuous.
Yeah.
That is like Ori Emo, but with beautiful characters.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's just Ori emo gender bent.
There's 2 incestuous anime on here. The Vampire Knight.
Yeah.
Vampire Knight.
Yeah, Vampire
It's
Knight
straight up
is fucking
incestuous.
incestuous.
Vampire Knight is
This is-
incestuous
This
as
is,
fuck,
okay, this is what I'm
man.
saying. I mentioned, I do not know anything about the show. The only thing I know is the only person who loved that show turned out to be a pedophile. Maylene,
I'm not a
I
pedophile.
don't know, man. I don't know.
But yeah.
I mean,
I can't
Half
explain
these images
myself.
don't even have high-res images. Like, they're so fucking old, dude.
I will though say that
This one's in like Minecraft potato quality.
That one's really trashy. Like,
it's like 120p.
it's really bad.
Utano
Okay.
Prince, isn't that just a shitty gacha game?
No.
No.
That's you just know that because Malin.
Yeah. Utano Prince is like Idolmaster if they were all guys.
Yeah. So like out of everyone here, Malin, yours is the only one that has shows that I've never heard of.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. If I can get some friends together, I absolutely will do like a 3v3 with us, and we'll just fucking show our favorite shows off, and then we'll just like roast each other. Like, I absolutely am not kidding. I will do that.
What is this show?
Hakuoki
Okay,
Shinsengumi.
So you know the Shinsengumi, the secret
Yeah, I
police,
know the
basically in
Shinsengumi.
Japan. It's
Yeah, yeah.
like
So
the
it's-
shonen
Wait, they have
version.
secret police?
Did you just say the shonen version?
No,
Be
Bishonen.
shonen,
Oh,
like
Bishonen
pretty
version.
boy,
Yeah. Yeah,
sexy, 2D man version.
Fujoshi
yeah,
bait.
Fujoshi bait.
Yeah.
Fujo bait. It's
It's originally
Fujo bait.
like a
Honestly,
visual
the
novel.
bottom 3 is all Fujo bait.
Yeah.
It is.
Maylin is a Fujo through and through.
Yeah, yeah.
But see,
I mean, we can see that.
we
Connor.
can see that.
We can see
She
that.
also likes
Yeah.
true crime.
It is. But at the same time, at least at the very least, you have something about her personality and character down. You have something that can actually say something about her. With Connor's, it's very much, here's what was popular in the last 10 years. It's pretty much that.
You know what? There's more Fujo beat on here than actual like regular shows.
Fujo counts as Fujo
No.
stuff?
Vampire
That's true.
Utano Prince in the bottom 3. It's like all Fujo
I'd
bait.
say out of all of this, right? Like from the New World, it's the one that stands out the most. Did you just put this in to be like,
This is-
guys?
No.
I got a little bit of good taste in that.
No,
already.
I watched it.
Shizuka Yori is literally mainly saying, yes, I am a functioning human in society. I'm normal. I like normal.
Literally, from the New World is like the tip of the iceberg. Everything else is just the rest of the iceberg.
Shows.
Monster's pretty normal, I
Okay,
think.
yeah. Monster.
Golden
Shizuka
Kamui is
Yori,
very
Golden Kamuy,
normal.
JoJo.
Golden
I like
Kamuy
that.
is there.
I am a normal human being.
No,
These
no,
other five, though.
but these two, I know why you like Monster and Golden Kamui, because you like you say, you like your crew crime murder
Yeah.
shit, man.
Also,
you could do a fucking
yeah. Johan's so sexy.
You heard it here first, guys.
You are dismissed,
Sorry.
man.
Okay, but
Thank you, Maylin. Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Wow, that was some
Wow.
trash taste, you could say.
I'm glad to know that the producer for Trash Taste has
It's the
trash taste.
trashiest
But you know what?
taste.
It was more entertaining than
Well,
Connor's fucking vanilla
Well,
taste.
Yeah, that was the better way to do it.
I can't always be the fucking weirdo. Like, I have that most of the time. Come on, leave me alone.
What do you mean the weirdo?
I'm always the one being like, all right, I'm gonna say something. And you guys are like, what the fuck? I'm sick and tired of it.
Okay, so yeah, now we can get to the point where it's like I was kind of the reason why I made this stream. Pretty much, I'm gonna be watching like Maxor Genshin Impact videos. I have seen the old one, but I haven't seen the new one that came out. So, yeah. So this is his old review for Genshin Impact.
Genshin Impact is a game which has sucked away my soul and killed my dog. I first began playing Genshin Impact because of all the cute women, then experienced apotheosis and a philosophical enlightenment through the death of my own ego. I love Genshin Impact, but this game will have an impact on your social life, and even after you stop playing, you will not recover.
No, you won't.
To this day, it has left me in a perpetual state of sophisticated mauling, and I recommend it for all the wrong reasons. In this game, you play as John Impact, an extra-dimensional being whose brother was eaten by Mega Blocks and is forced to navigate Avatar: The Last Airbender for Wii U, powered by its simple chemistry system in which characters electrocute, burn, and throw rocks at each other. One of those is much less cool, but it, like Australopithecus, was my primary source of damage. Now trapped in the land of gotcha hell, our protagonist must find a way to save
That's cap, because obviously Gotcha Hell is fake Go.
our siblings by fighting geometry, the indigenous inhabitants of Twitter, space midgets, and the ice KGB. As well, we are here to explore, solve puzzles, play prop hunt, cook, get arrested for looking at Zhongling too much, get sentenced to 10 years, and emerge from prison a devout Buddhist. This video is going to be about my experience.
I don't know what exactly that's a reference to. All I can think of is Malcolm X. Although that was, I think, Muslim, not Buddhist.
Don't recommend it, but I do. Although I am slightly a dingus, so I don't recommend you take my opinion as fact, but as entertainment. So whether you're new to this strange, otherworldly Chinese software or a Genshin Pro, please allow me to tell you the tale of how this left a Genshin impact into my frontal lobe. Here's a fun tip that most Genshin players don't know. The age of consent is 18 years old.
It never gets old.
Let's begin with what's maximally important. Not the gameplay, not the story, nor anything you would typically associate with a video game. The single most important thing in this game is rolling dice to gain attractive people and then parading them around like a child on TLC. I
Yep.
do not exaggerate when I say this is probably what attracted most people to this game. If you want an example, Lisa is a character who continually refers to herself as One-sama and sounds like she is at all times on the verge of sex. I I received her after completing a quest and then decided that I would use Lisa exclusively to do rock climbing. That way, I could repeatedly hear her oddly enthusiastic moaning for the next 10 hours of gameplay. I literally installed this game after downloading 60 images of Ganyu, since the official lore of the game specifies that she killed a monster after being eaten by it because her ass was so big it blocked his trachea and suffocated him to death. However, there is a catch. I don't have Ganyu, and I never will. You have a random chance to get characters, and that chance isn't high, 5.1% to be exact, and that's getting any
The game will give you every character except the one you want, and even then, you're gonna have to put fuck tons of money into it.
one. So if you want a particular character, get fucked.
Yep.
You could have your very first role, and that's getting anyone. So if you want a particular character, get fucked. You could have your very first role be a high-level DPS character that carries you through the game with chimpanzee martial arts. Or you could roll 3 useless small boys in a row and then desire death. It's a fucking guy. God damn it. And while I'm writing about bad things that could be deal breakers, the anti-cheat for this game is very strong and has ring 0 permissions on your kernel. This means that it can read and write memory at any location in your computer without seg faulting. I, however, am not afraid, since if Xi Jinping does harvest my computer's data, all he will find is 50 pages of Waluigi hentai. It's your loss. And yes, it does turn off when the game isn't running. So this review is going to include a guide on how to have fun, because like real life, lusting after women causes suicidal depression. Step 1. Play as optimally as you want. Do not try to min-max shit because RNGesus will snap your fucking neck. Do whatever is fun with whatever you have. In my case, I decided that I would roleplay as a violent misandrist and only play as women out of principle. Any men that I rolled would be locked at level 1 and made useful in the coal mines. It is simply not worth it for me to engage in combat if I cannot also yank it. The central point of the characters is that they are potential wives, and I am absolutely, definitely, 1000% secure in my masculinity. Playing the game optimally in this case would mean making the game boring and staring at man ass, so fuck it. If, for instance, I had wanted a particular legally questionable female to be my digital puppet, the chance of me receiving that would be 0.3%, which is where this image comes from. Take what you can get with the roles. Don't be mad. Exercise patience and control, and you will have a lot more fun. I definitely have not sold my house to get big-titted pirate mommy. But Maxor, I hear your thoughts. Why are you displaying a single image of a regular crab on my screen? And also, what is the world of Genshin Impact, and why are we here? That is a great question, James.
That's me.
Because before we get into the exploration and the combat, we must first understand the context with which I run my beauty pageant. And like every game made by Asian people on my channel, the lore is some Hyperborean bullshit. So let's say rule number 2 of enjoying the game is not caring about this, just like 90% of the player base. The world of Teyvat is ruled collectively by 7 gods who govern the 7 elements. Except the nature god, he's special. This came about because
Okay, in all seriousness, the actual story in Genshin is actually alright. But it's also used as a crutch for people on Twitter and the internet, just the Genshin fandom, to absolutely use in defense of the game being absolutely being a prime example of sunk cost fallacy, and honestly feeling very unfulfilled. Because I used to have a friend who I worked with who is like, I'm pretty sure he's still like majorly into Genshin Impact right now and everything. But like when I say, you know, it's like I was gonna consider like actually leaving and not playing the game anymore. He was like, man, I mean, if you're not interested in the story, like I won't know what to tell you. I'm like, that's not it at all. I'm just sick and tired of like playing this game and never feel like I'm getting anywhere. Like that's the problem. That was the problem I had with Genshin, and that's the problem I still have when I left Genshin. That's why I left it. That's why I deleted my account.
2,800 years ago, there were like 80 gods or something. Then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. No, but actually 7 seals opened up in heaven, so literally every god fought over their power to the death. The result was the 7 gods of each element we see today, each ruling over their own nation in their own fucked up ways. Every once in a while, these delusional bastards will just give random people superpowers, like how the electricity god just gave a girl with a mental disorder a talking bird. This
I would say 12th grader syndrome, not necessarily a mental disorder, but sure.
This also includes small children who could very possibly kill themselves for some
Or sorry, 8th grader syndrome.
reason. Now, the world you see in-game takes place in 2 nations, or 3 if you're from the future.
Or, I don't know, if they're at the, like, 6... I have lost track. It was, like... fucking, it was... Okay, there's Mondstadt, there's Liwa, there's Inazuma, then there's also Sumeru, and then from then on, I don't fucking know. I wouldn't be surprised if they got to, like, 6 now. I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time, I don't give a fuck, because I'm not playing the game anymore. Although, that said, I still do like the Genshin story and everything, and I'm actually... Okay, I'll say this. I'm excited for the Genshin Impact anime that's coming out in, I think, 2025, done by Ufotable. Like, when people say it's like, oh, well, the Genshin Impact story is good, like, I'm absolutely excited to see Ufotable do a Genshin Impact anime so that I can actually enjoy Genshin Impact without ever playing Genshin Impact. Kind of like with Cyberpunk Edge Runners.
First is Mondstadt, a lawless, anarcho-capitalist commune in New Hampshire which has no formal governance of any kind. They instead rely institutionally on vigilante justice, including a hot Batman. As a
Yeah, their god is the god of freedom.
result, an entire territory of their nation is completely overrun with wolves.
Yep.
No one has the systemic authority to stop people from exercising their rights and liberties to feed the wolves babies. Oh, also, there's the fucking dragon problem. Did I not mention the murderous dragon?
Yeah, that's the
we
thing.
have the nation of Liyue, an extremely rich and powerful country to the east. They have recently come into conflict with Mondstadt due to the Luhua Pool massacre of 69, as well as an aggressive foreign policy involving a 9-dashed line in the Sea of Clouds, headed by the Tian Shuan Ningguang of the Liyue Qixing. Those are all real names. Liyue exhibits an unprecedented level of prosperity and control, living happily under the watchful eye of the rock god, who periodically disguises himself to ensure that the populace is behaving well and upholding their state contracts, just in case. Now, China, I know you're new to making video games, yet in my country, we have a long history of shooting people. But who lives in Liyue and who lives in Where is In? The answer is unfortunate. Populating this extensive world will be several factions of enemies with subgroups, elemental specializations, and fucking bullshit. The enemy variety of this game paints a picture of a post-apocalyptic nightmare world where raving bands of
What I don't think he also talks about is the level scaling, because enemies who are a certain level will just absolutely just scale with your level the more you progress. So instead of them just relying on newer enemies and make you feel like you progressed, they're just hell sponges. It happens. And like, if you're wondering if like, oh, well, I like to see you name a game with better level progression and everything, Hades. Hades has some pretty basic bitch enemies, and at the start, as you go on, though, it becomes much more harder and the enemies' fighting styles become much more creative. Like, there are other games where it's just like they actually know how to do level progression and actually make you feel like the more you play through the game, the more you learn and the more you get better at it. Genshin Impact is not one of them.
savages constantly destroy every.
Well, I mean, I guess it technically is, but at the same time, there's so much power creep in the grand scheme of things, and level scaling that the progression of skill and everything gets drowned out.
Everything, locking humanity in a perpetual state of warfare with armies of bandits and the midget people. One of these groups is the Hilichurls, an intelligent race capable of empathy and complex thoughts, which is why they must be destroyed. These guys make the Gombe chimpanzee war look like a fucking joke, and at no point does anyone in the entire game even give a shred of sympathy for the Hilichurls, except for Elon Musk. They can be big gorilla, small monkey, operate complex machinery, and have their own language. This makes it more fun to slaughter entire villages of them and steal their possessions with no consequences. In fact, you're encouraged to do it. Overall, I would rate them a genocide out of 10. Next are the country-sized hordes of organized bandits called the Treasure Hoarders, who are just regular guys forced to fight you with shovels and Molotov cocktails. Are you sure we're the good guys? It's fortunate that
Nah, it's Minecraft rules. Everything in this world belongs to you, and you can kill and purge as much as you want.
because they committed a crime, their lives are now forfeit. Abyss mages are very simple because they are one enemy with two reskins, who are also inhuman beings of the Dark Void who have sworn vengeance upon humanity itself. They also dwell almost entirely in fucking space. The Fatui of Snezhnaya are heavily armed diplomats seeking to dominate the world of Teyvat through subterfuge, and employing 9-foot-tall people with hammers is absolutely conducive to this goal, I promise. They are unique among Teyvat because they serve the interests of the Tsaritsa of Snezhnaya, also known as the god of ice. That's important because it's very weird that they primarily use electricity and fire. I guess the ice god is just fucking lazy. The Fatui are always up to no good, like stealing the wind god's power or like a bank heist. They're also really hot, so I'm not stopping them.
This video is definitely, you can tell that definitely this video is outdated because it's not accounting for later story events. At least the ones I can, the ones that I actually played through.
Finally, we have the local wildlife of Teyvat, which is 90% slimes and 10% these fuckers. I spent most of the fight waiting to do something.
Computer deactivate iguana.
That's really what the combat is all about. Sometimes it's like, holy fuck, that is a whale. And other times it's like, I think that bush just fucking really. No.
Yeah, sometimes it can be like that, but over times I think he's also kind of I think he's over complicating it because a lot of this stuff very much is just once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to like take care of everything and whatnot. It's like I don't know, it's just it feels like the recipe for like decent level progression and everything is there, but they don't want to do that.
No matter what happens, you're in for an experience. Let's find out if that's bad or worse. Shit getting intact is
Okay, the combat is not as cool as the cutscenes. It really isn't. Like, it absolutely is not as cool as the cutscenes. Like, you want a good game that actually has some really, like, not just some good cutscenes every now and then, but also some very, very good combat, honestly. And it's also a gacha game, Punishing Grey Raven. Punishing Grey Raven is a fucking gem of a game because the devs absolutely know what they're doing when they make combat. They know what they're doing with the AI combat. Like, it's a really good game.
Is a game about flow, where to maximize their power, the player dynamically switches between their DPS character and everyone else.
Also, the reason why, if anybody's wondering, the reason why I don't play Punishing Grey Raven live is simply because I don't have a capture card to actually record it.
Number 3 of Genshin Impact. Pick one. Your typical team is comprised of your DPS baby, your heal support, your burst support, and moral support. Think of it like a train. You only need one engine and enough weight to kill Terry Davis. Now, like everything, characters have elemental alignments, which, depending on the enemy, can ruin the game. My wife Barbara could heal me, but in the process, must make everyone wet, which makes us a proverbial bathtub, which enemies will then catapult toasters into for massive damage. It's a fucking blast.
The one thing that this game loves to do, or not necessarily this game, but particularly the fans of this game loves to do, is treat you like shit depending on your characters. Because if it's very much a, it is very much like a teenager kid-esque type mentality of like, if you don't have these characters or you're not using these characters, you're fucking shit. You're fucking trash. You don't deserve any praise. Like, legit, my main for that game for Genshin Impact for a long while was Shinyan, and that actually surprised people because they thought I was being sarcastic for a little bit. They actually kind of thought I was being sarcastic for a bit, and they realized, oh no, this dude actually likes Shinyan.
You feel like a chemistry professor gone rogue, using the elements to his advantage and then blowing himself up in the process. Unless your DPS uses rocks, in which case, you know, just watch, I guess. Everything is elements, and everyone has an elemental skill and alignment. Unless you're the nature god, who has no characters. Some are bad, and others are very bad. But many are completely game-changing, like how Beto's elemental skill adds a parry mechanic to the game, or how Ningguang invalidates all ranged enemies. The combat is definitely its strength, and is an experiment in how bad you can craft your psychotic dog water alchemy, and
Honestly, I kind of disagree with that because I don't think after playing for 2 years, I don't think the combat is its strength. I think the strength is just the brand new anime girl with big tits. Like big tits, big ass, like completely slim, tall anime girl. Like I think that's the strength.
hopefully create a moving ball of destruction strong enough to kill God. To extend this concept, every character uses one of 5 unique weapon classes, such as Mongolian, Controller Erosion, the Waiting Game, Egg Catapults, and the Speed Demon. So be careful with who you choose and what weapons that— oh wait, no, it's random, get fun. Now, this would all be
Yep.
excellent gameplay if it didn't sometimes amount to throwing 2 sponges at each other. Enemy
Yep, absolutely. It does at times. It absolutely does.
scale to your level, and generally health is not hard to come by. So depending on your investment, some enemies could take minutes to kill.
Yep. That's not even an exaggeration. It could take literal minutes to kill some enemies that on like basic difficulties. If it just started at the basic world level and you increase increase with time, it would take you seconds. It would take you fucking seconds. I'm not even kidding. You can go into like another player's world who's like at the starting point or around the starting point or so, and then like challenge their bosses, and you could be like at the max level. You could absolutely dominate. Dominate in a matter of seconds.
This all amounts to making a classic video game build, the tank, entirely useless.
Yep.
You don't need a tank because you will be switching to your DPS anyways, who is a tank against your will.
Not even that. You'll be switching between 4 characters, and just like not even bothering with like particular not even bothering with particular strategies or anything, or using particular strats. Now you're just like switch between certain characters and then just hit R2 or I say R2 because I played on PS4, or just hit R2 or E, like just you'll be hitting like switch to a certain character, hit one button, and that's kind of it. Meanwhile, in like certain other games, like again Punishing Grey Raven, you can switch to other characters and whatnot, but at the same time, like there's more variety added to the combat. There's more combos you can do, and more like there's more unique skills that they have, instead of just like what Genshin Impact does. Because like Genshin Impact, yeah, characters do have like certain unique skills and everything outside their abilities, sure, but for the most part, it's all kind of the same. You don't really do much that's different with like characters that you start out with compared to the newest characters that you have. Like there's not really much to be done that's incredibly different. And if it is, it's very much like just it's stuff that's kind of like trivial, honestly.
Health is literally always a shackle and a curse. That is, of course, unless you're playing Barbara, whose healing scales only off of health, making her tankier than Tiana. Let's go over an example party to give you some idea of the insanity that we're working with. It is optimal in most of my combat scenarios to cause forest fires by throwing a spicy bear.
Yep.
Why? Well, it's obvious. My DPS Beto can parry anything, which includes the heat of fire.
I figured that out.
About Ningguang, who spawns a wall inside of enemies like it's Gary's mod. We just need to piss them off. Did I also mention you can invite your insane Discord stalker to play co-op with you? The combat is fully functional.
Hello, Max.
I made a mistake, and this isn't even going into the complicated system by which you customize artifacts, upgrade your weapon, and level your character's talents, because that's boring. It can be made especially boring when you have to pick 30 mushrooms to do it, but you know, here we are. That leads me to my next point. You're gonna have to explore for those mushrooms, and that sounds bad, but it's actually the best part. Get ready for some cross-country...
Yeah, that's... I've neglected to mention that, the exploration, at least when you're starting out, is actually really great. After a certain point, though, it does sort of get trivial, I will admit. But when you're starting out and everything, like, the exploration in Genshin Impact actually is pretty good.
Country gaming, because we literally have a lot of ground to cover. So rule number 4 of Genshin Impact is that if you see something, just go.
Yep.
You've probably noticed at some point that this game looks identical to Breath of the Wild, right down to the UI.
This is something that a lot of people in the fandom give other games shit for when it comes to Genshin Impact. Like Tower of Fantasy, they gave it shit because they saw it was like a Genshin Impact clone with like Honkai assets or some shit like that. There's other games out there that's just like, people give it shit because it's like they think they're ripping off Mihoyo and everything should be interesting. Meanwhile, what was the one major comparison for Genshin Impact back in the day? It was a Breath of the Wild gacha clone. It was. And people just seem to forget about that.
This is an objectively correct assessment. It's just that the game doesn't give a shit, and neither should we. Breath of the Wild was so
Like, the game doesn't give a shit, but the opposite can be said for some of its fans.
good that I wanted Breath of the Wild with more anime pussy. Because, god damn it, why did Nintendo make Zelda look like that? The amount of bandits and foreign soldiers in this game suddenly makes sense when you realize it has the geography of fucking Afghanistan. It's quite the vertical place, but you're given the tools to navigate it, like your feet or your sweat. And there is quite a bit to see, so, for an example, when I first installed the game, I didn't know that Leeway was in it. That's over half of the map. I was doing a a quest that required a wild radish, so I naturally went hiking to find it and accidentally discovered the entirety of Ming Dynasty China, at which point I was wrongfully assaulted after being mistaken for opium. This is one of those games where you start finding chests in the wild and within 30 minutes are flying to a strange island with a man named Jeffrey. It's actually not that different to Skyrim, but this game makes Skyrim look like it's in Kansas. There is always something to do and always something to find. You would think that it would get stale, but they just keep finding ways to turn on my neurons. There is a puzzle. I just wanted the chest, which spans an entire.
Yeah, I have ADHD, so I can kind of attest to this.
Region of the game where you have to climb 3 mountains. You can spend an afternoon doing that, and it's viable.
At least for a certain point of the game.
There is no direction that you can go that will not help you in some tangible way, and that's what's important about exploration. It's not just pretty, it's optimal. You see this shit right here. This activates my fucking almonds. Exploring this game trains your neurons to fire at the most basic of incentives, like a lab chimp. But seriously, if you aren't yet considering the game, just have fun exploring it, stop and smell the flowers, and accidentally find China over a vegetable. I found it eventually. It took 3 hours. Now, if the review had ended here, this would be a definite recommend because the game is free. It costs $0. It cannot yank your bank.
That free comes with an asterisk.
Not that I would know, but I must warn you that there are some serious drawbacks besides the fucking Chinese surveillance state that you have to install, so it's time to give you the final tools and rules that you need to enjoy this game.
The pain.
Regula numerus quinque of Genshin Impact is just, please God, use the resin every day.
Anybody who doesn't actually know what that is, it is a stamina battery. It's kind of common when you like try to play other mobile games when it very much is like, okay, so you want to do activities or you want to play certain things, and it's just like, yeah, they have a stamina battery, so you get to spend this much stamina and it recharges every day.
So to explain that, you have to understand that this game works by mostly giving you what you want when you seek it out.
The one thing I will say about Genshin Impact is that the upside for this is that while it does have the stamina battery, hey, it's also got an open world. So it's not like, yeah, you can't do certain things, but hey, you can at least like still be able to play the game with your friends and everything. So yeah, there's that.
Unless it's crit damage. So you don't end up mindlessly slogging for 10 hours a day for a single goddamn Warframe chassis. But there is a catch. When it comes to grinding, there is a clever way to make sure that you can't trivialize the entire game, which is that the game just stops you. You expend resin when you kill a boss, want money, want XP, want artifacts, want to...
It wouldn't be that much, personally, and this is a problem I have with a lot of gacha games as well. It wouldn't be that much of a problem if they didn't also have like these limited time events where it's just like you have to do stuff, and they also require you, and like in order to get like, you know, participate in those limited time events, you gotta use that stamina. So it's very counterproductive. Like it works against you, and it's very much, it's a practice they're fully aware of, because if they're aware that, you know, like, you can't be able to, like, do much with limited time events without much stamina, they know, because you'll have to, like, you can't just play the game for free entirely. They know. That's a practice they do, just so that you get to put money into them more. That's how they get ya! That's how they get ya!
To live, want to see my daughter again, pretty much anything. And if you have no resin, well, better wait.
Yep.
God will collect his existence tax, and you will fucking pay. Even if you live in Mondstadt, the IRS is an eternal fixture of the universe. And although it's nice to have fair guarantees for artifacts, it has the unique side effect of stopping the game from being played. You get 160 a day, and for reference, you spend 40 for boss loot, so good luck. And if you thought that was bad, get ready for Rule 6, which is, yeah, you gotta do the daily quest.
No, okay, that, no, you don't. You don't have to always do the daily quest. It gives up, like, I don't know, 40 Primo Gems, 60, I think, and it takes about 160 for, like, one roll, honestly. You don't have to do them at certain points. At certain points, it's basically just, if you're paying money for the game and everything, if you're doing that, you really don't have to. But if you're free to play, yeah, it probably is.
West. We Genshin players are always hard at work on the daily dopamine farms, putting in that grind so that we can have a 4-star object every 20 days. It really makes a man wonder why we bothered with making murder illegal in the first place. Thank you, Kane. This game can give you a lot if you decide to commit yourself to it, but if you don't, you will be scraping for crack crystals in a back alley, maybe make a YouTube video. That alone is probably enough to discourage most people. I thought I was going to be one of those people until I realized that I liked the game.
I liked the game, and it would have discouraged me, but I actually liked the game until I got fed up with the sunk cost fallacy.
Stockholm Syndrome is actually cool. And for our final rule, you don't want to play with English voices. Set it to literally any other language except English. Now, the voice work isn't horrendous, but it doesn't sound like the dialogue was actually written for English, and the translation is fucking hilarious.
The wolves frighten him so badly that he's paralyzed with fear.
We've looked everywhere and haven't seen any of the wolves.
So do what I do and play in Japanese, then switch the game to Chinese whenever you're in Liyue for maximal immersion.
Wouldn't you just... I feel like you would switch over to English in Mondstadt, Chinese in Liwa, and then Japanese over in Inazuma.
Mr. Sheep, please send missiles to liberate my country from the yoke of capitalism. Now that you're armed with what you need, should you play the game? Only if you have self-control. It's not worth it to spend money on the game. I'm serious, and that's why you should give me your money so I can spend it responsibly. Remember, the game is free, and so is the porn. I would like to thank the kind Chinese billionaire.
Yeah, but like I've said, I used to play Genshin Impact 2 years since it came out on PS4, and I used to play it, I used to love it, I used to recommend it to my friends, so on and so forth, and I had some enjoyable moments. Like, you can look at my second channel if you're really interested in everything. Like, I had some enjoyable moments, but at some point it was just like I started seeing more to criticize about Genshin Impact. I started seeing more problems I had with it. And at some point it's just like they didn't really seem like to get fixed. It came to the point where it's like when it came to them introducing Dentro and Sumeru, it was like I just felt like, what was the point anymore, you know? Like, they had, like, the major thing was, like, you know, aside from rolling for characters, also trying to get certain artifacts, like, certain artifact sets, which I hated getting, because I couldn't actually manage to get, you know, boil down the particular set I want, so I can at least have a little more luck in terms of getting what I want on RNGs, you know? Like, because... You know, they say, like, oh, well, we have some new domains, and you can get some new artifacts in here, but what they don't tell you is that you're gonna spend hours and hours, days, weeks, months on end, especially if you're free-to-play, just absolutely, like, doing that day in and day out and getting just shit artifacts and everything, and just waiting until you get something good, finally. Meanwhile, in Punishing Grey Raven... What I like about Punishing Grey Raven is that there are different ways to get, like, you know, power-ups for certain characters. And there's different ways to even get certain characters. Like, this is something Genshin kind of does, where it's like, you can select a weapon, and you can be able to get... You can select a weapon, and you can be able to get it, but only if you get, like, 3 5-stars that aren't... Or, like, 2 or 3 5-stars that aren't the one that you were going for. And this is for weapons, by the way. I don't know how it is for characters now, but this is for weapons, by the way. You can get, like, 2 or 3, like, weapons that you weren't going for, and then once your third weapon comes out, yeah, then it's gonna be the, then it's ultimately going to be the weapon that you want. It's a lot better compared to, how it used to be, because, you can look at Tectone and look at him, like, going for the Staff of Homa. Or the Staff of Homelessness, that is. And, yeah, it's kind of fucking ridiculous. But, yeah, that is something that I do think that they had to fix. But, at the same time, they haven't done anything for the characters. Because it very much is, you roll for them and you hope that you get them. That's how that works. And with Punishing Grey Raven, there are characters and there are weapons. But it's very much like, you know, like, when it comes to, like, some of the bigger characters, some of the, you know, the characters that are, you know, like, people talk about are good, or some of the characters, or some of the weapons that are actually good, like, you can just go ahead and just select it, and then just in a 10 roll, you'll have in like one or two 10 rolls, you'll pretty much get it. Like, that's what I like about Punishing Gray Raven, is that it definitely feels more like the game doesn't... It definitely feels more like, you know, the game knows how many characters it has, how many weapons are out, and it definitely feels like, yeah, we figure that, you know, you would want to get these eventually, but you wouldn't want to have to sift through all of this. So we'll give you that option to go ahead and be able to get it in a certain point. Like, that's what I like about Punishing Gray Raven's system. Anyway. My videos are...
This video is up.
Anyway. So. I've talked about Genshin, more or less. This is, Maxor's new video. So, yeah, I haven't seen this. This is Genshin Impact. It's a playable anime.
This video is a cry for help. Genshin Impact is a playable anime, and that's pretty good since my videos are attempts to make watchable anime. I can't believe it, guys. They made a sequel to Stockholm Syndrome. Welcome to the world of Teyvat. You may have heard of it from all the free advertising that I'm doing. A beautiful post-apocalyptic nightmare world featuring a giant tree.
Wait,
sorry, that's the wrong game. On our journey throughout the 7 nations, we will meet the world's most colorful cast of...
Yeah, so I've been out of the game since last year, so I have... A lot of this stuff is just new, kind of.
Children, entrusted and empowered by the gods to wield elemental energy as dangerously as possible. I'm just a big fan of the characters in this game. There is no reason in particular. Assemble your team of heroic psychopaths and begin blasting, loading, cooking your enemies alive, visiting Baby's first casino, and with enough time, it will become Baby's last casino. But most importantly, have fun, because the game will try to stop you. I can assure you that the visual novels are exactly what Da Wei intended. So join me as I navigate one of the most beautiful, fantastical, and expensive game worlds ever made. One agonizing country at a time. This is it, guys. This is what $900 million can buy you. Are you having fun yet? Look, all I'm trying to say is, this is a weird episode of Ava. Wow, I haven't been here in 2 years. Welcome back to Mondstadt, and yes, the game still displays your IP address, just in case you're a little bit too critical. This place is where the player learns how to fight, learns how to kill innocent animals, learns that they are bisexual as soon as they see Kaya. So I think it's a great opportunity to teach the basics, and nothing else. The environment here looks like it shares a polygon. I think a good place to start is with our team, the Fulganassaria. Official, every crew got the schizophrenic.
Okay. He's going with his own team, not the team the game gives you. Because the team the game gives you is the Traveler, Kaya, Amber, and Lisa. Those are like the 4 characters the game gives you.
Personality disorder, mentally and physically deranged, wife material. I'm serious about that. There's a quest where you enter her mind and she fights her tulpa. End user license agreement. The only physical DPS, possibly racist, has the biggest slappy in Teyvat. Sangin cock. And Rosaria, who is dressed promiscuously, so we need to cover her up in appropriate garments. God, I wish nuns were real. With our team assembled, we are now able to do nothing because I haven't explained the game. Genshin Impact is a based character RPG where each character wields one of the 7 elements, all of them interacting completely nonsensically. Water buffs fire, ice freezes water, plants buff electricity, a fucking gas leak. Danger requires 9 times the Khan Academy. My team is based on not playing the game as much as possible. There is genuinely no cooldown to freeze. By the way, what I'm showing you now is considered tame. The game is actually supposed to look sub-mentally deranged. The numbers are helping me to understand what's happening. Of course, some characters are bad, and others are very bad, but many are absolutely game-changing. There are characters that straight up allow me to fly, at least through regular means. This one...
Literally, there are some 5 stars in the game that absolutely just break it. Like, I'm not even talking about, like, combat. I'm just talking about, like, exploration and everything. There's just things where it's like they're just absolute fucking shortcuts.
fights with a pogo stick, and this one doesn't fight at all. My cock's crit rate is -87. The game also allows us to choose from a lot of weapons. I think I have a few copies, each one with their own properties and substats. Sometimes too many substats. Like, goddamn, I'm fighting with a Wikipedia page. We've got bows, spears, paddles, big fish, sentient umbrella, child's bomb instructions. I hope you can see why there's a lot of variation. And also theory crafting. A lot of Chinese theory crafting. They take this game very seriously. Like, right outside of a KFC, seriously. And if you're wondering about the gambling, well, hell, we'll get to it later.
That's... Okay. I really wonder how much my comments on the system have held up since I haven't played it in a year. I doubt much has changed, actually. But we'll see.
I have a lot to say about it, but for now, welcome to...
I'm hoping so.
The land of the Anemo god, who is a twink that gets kicked in the balls.
Also, what surprised me about Venti...
Welcome to the land of the Anemo god, who is a...
What surprised me about Venti, he's voiced by Erica... Harlacher. Sorry. Just so many fucking Ericas to keep track of. Erica Harlacher, who, if you actually heard her voice in certain other performances, like Toradora or Persona 5, most notably, she sounds nothing like Venti. Like, the girl has got range, and it's actually very surprising. Like, full-on props for her performance. Like, okay, that's one thing I will not get on Genshin for, is that a lot of the performances, even the ones people fucking hate, I will say are actually pretty good. Like, yeah, again, personally, I know people, like, hate, like, Shinyan's English voice, but I personally, it's kind of a custom voice, and, hey, I personally like Shinyan as a character, so, suck it. But also, yeah, I know about the controversy around a certain actor. I mean that genuinely. I'm not rolling my eyes on that. There's a controversy, anybody who doesn't know, about the actor who played a character by the name of Tainari or Tignari, whatever the fuck, doesn't matter. But, the actor who played that, apparently is a pedophile. And it's not like, oh, well, this is alleged cases. No, there are, there's actual evidence and actual confirmation that he is a fucking pedophile. So, yeah, kind of fucking awkward. It's kind of fucking awkward, to say the least. Especially if you say you're, if you actually enjoy this game, it's kind of fucking awkward nowadays to say, oh, wow, you like a game where one of the actors is actually a pedophile. It's kind of awkward. I'm not gonna lie, kind of fucking awkward.
Twink that gets kicked in the balls. This guy's, really jamming out. Hey, Chad, I'm not going to do that yoinky splinky. Oh my god, he just doesn't give a fuck. So what if I just, oh no, he can't be stopped. Doesn't give a fuck. So what if I just, oh no, he can't be stopped.
Replicant standing here, I realize meme.
Well, I guess if he can't beat him. Mondstadt is a depopulated anarchist state where there are no taxes, no police, and half the country is controlled by wolves. Wolves that you never actually see, unless you want to count Razor. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, there's the giant wolf, but he's kind of special. What the dog doing? As a result of this, nobody in Mondstadt has any money, except...
Hang on. I know the problem. Come on. There we go. Should work now.
What the dog doing? As a result of this, nobody in Mondstadt has any money. Except for the church, of course. The city is undergoing a crippling wine epidemic. Look, I just think it's a serious funding issue and the cavalry captain does...
And if anyone's wondering...
I mean, there's the giant wolf, but he's kind of special. What the dog doing? As a result of this, nobody in Mondstadt has any money.
Yes. There is some spicy videos with this character because of this reason. And I don't think anyone needed me to tell that because I've seen your tabs. I know what you look up. But yeah, it's out there.
Except for the church, of course. The city is undergoing a crippling wine epidemic. Look, I just think it's a serious funding issue when the cavalry captain doesn't have a horse. Therefore, most of your time is going to be spent cleaning up their mess. Their singular mess. Because there is only one enemy in Mondstadt. Yes, from the beautiful ruins of old to the peaks of Dragonspine, 90% of the enemies you encounter are Hilichurls.
Yep.
A sentient race capable of empathy and complex thoughts. Which is
And you kill them.
why they must be destroyed.
Yep. I was expecting that. Yeah. There is a side quest, and as well as some limited time events in Genshin Impact in the past, where it's like this little girl who wants to learn about, like, you know, Hilichurl speak and everything, and wants to talk to Hilichurls and everything, and you get to learn more about them.
From the beautiful ruins of old to the peaks of Dragonspine, 90% of the enemies you encounter are Hilichurls, a sentient race capable of empathy and complex thoughts, which is why they must be destroyed.
We're capable of speaking the same language, and we're capable of communicating. Well, it's time for you to fucking die.
Literally take a random location in Mondstadt. You are 10 seconds away from Hilichurl.
No wonder why it's called the country of freedom, because you have the freedom to break the Geneva Convention. Oh god.
Well, why is that one unbirthing itself? Really cool that the only organization in Mondstadt is dedicated to race war. They even have their own language, which I'm being quizzed on. Honestly, I'm a bit of a yay data man myself. Really feeling that moohoo yay today. Don't say Nini Zito, it's basically a slur. They didn't like that. Look, what I'm trying to say is this place has problems, but ultimately, they are cool problems. Mondstadt may not be that varied, well-designed, or even have a story that I can't summarize in one sentence. The dragon was mean, and then he was nice. Sun Tzu.
He's bullshitting, but that's actually what happened. The dragon was mean, and then he was nice. Sun Tzu.
This is just the beginning of a long, long journey. This game is planned out 7 years in advance. So as far as the basics go, there is no better teacher than Mondstadt. But pretty much just the basics. I don't think I'm staying for the boss fights. What is happening? What the fuck am I seeing?
Forgot about the fucking liar.
Okay, can you stop playing for a second?
No.
No.
I need to go to my teapot!
For the next stop on our War Crimes tour of the Balkans, we are heading to the Funny Nation, a post about this nation to instantly gain Reddit karma. And for that, we really need to climb as high as we can so we can deduce the direction. So we're going to this location on the map. If only there was a better way to view the world. Make sure to land on the elevator. Next, we're going to, shit. We're going to,
Wait, is that an actual bug?
1 second.
That's an actual bug, okay.
We're going to ascend to space. Why does it look like that?
Why?
Oh my god, the planet's receding.
Okay, at this point, he's just fucking bullshitting.
I am alone in this hell on earth.
Just cuts to fucking the sea space cowboy meme.
I think I'm gonna be here for a little bit. You know, it's real bad when the moon is physically below you. Hang on, guys, it's getting kind of dark, so I'm just gonna change the time real quick. Yeah, the game lets you do that. Folks, it was nice knowing you all.
Okay, he got that, but there is a way to absolutely break your fall in the game. Even if you fall from a fucking mountaintop and fall to the ground, if you just hit circle and ground stomp 1 second before, you break the fall, and you can absolutely just not take any damage.
Never mind.
I know that theme.
Hey guys, Maxor here, and welcome to China. It's just China. 早上好上午，现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋。 I really hope I didn't just tank my social credit. In our previous of adventures, we explored Mondstadt to learn the basic mechanics, and also, race relations. So for leeway, we're going to learn that we've been playing the game wrong. But before I can get to that, I need to explain my team. I call it the hot shower by force. Lord knows we need it. Xi Jinping. Yes. This is a man. I know it's hard to tell. He is also ridiculously broken on account of his ability to make enemies wet.
That's the thing. Genshin Impact has some very, very pretty looking boys.
Interpret that information however you want. Hu Tao is the owner of a funeral parlor, and she could use a bit of new business. She is also the winner of the Most Terrifying Sims Award. Like, the thread just doesn't end. He's still writing them.
I have said this as a joke before, but I will say it here. Hu Tao is the type of girl that will take you out on a date, have sex with you, kill you, and then frame your body for murder, and then call over your family who is grieving and everything, and then say, "Yeah, I heard one of your kids died. Pay up." We need funeral compensation here.
Most reasonable Hu Tao made. Yolan is a character that I play for the personality. She is also one of the most overpowered units in the game because she's a second Xingqiu. I don't even care that she's a federal psyop. I can fix her. And Toma, who is fucking spelled wrong. Just don't build Toma. With our team assembled, we're now able to trivialize the combat because this team is ridiculous. Fortunately, Genshin is not just a game about combat. It's a game about gambling.
Wait, go back. I know.
That she's a federal psyop. I
just remembered.
And Toma, who is fucking spelled wrong. Just don't build Toma.
I had a friend, like I said, I had a friend who played this game and who was absolutely just loved maining Toma. I feel like this is one middle finger to him.
With our team assembled, we're now able to trivialize the combat because this team is ridiculous. Fortunately, Genshin is not just a game about combat. It's a game about gambling. You see, Genshin Impact is what we call a gacha game because it has got me in its grasp, which means that the primary game mechanic is chance. Every character is chance. Every weapon is chance. Every piece of every build is fucking chance. Do you know what it's like to have a mathematically impossible goblet? Goddamn elating. Hey, so I see you're trying to level up your crit rate. Well, that's a weird way to spell defense. Fortunately, we can
that happens. That has happened way too many fucking times for me. I cannot stress.
Outcomes of our character roles using some Eastern philosophies, and the answer is 105 on average. But don't worry, you've got a lot of time. I guess we're gonna wait a day. Because only a few 5-stars are actually available, and sometimes they aren't available. For 483 days, she is in prison for racism.
But what are they going to do? Lock me up?
As you deserve, motherfucker. As you fucking deserve. His voice actor was allegedly caught grooming minors. No, not allegedly. I'm pretty sure there was evidence, because I'm pretty sure there were people that came out saying that, yeah, he's caught grooming minor. And even he admitted to it. So I don't think it was allegedly. I'm pretty sure it was definite. It was definite, and he got fired. And as it should have happened.
So, naturally, we need to feed our gambling addiction at any cost. And there's a few ways to do that. You could explore more, go on fantastic adventures, or find amazing treasures. If you want to stay poor. No, you see, the real money is made in the daily quests, which are a series of useful and normal missions, such as talking to people, murdering those people, talking to the Hillagirls, very nicely, finding the weasel, where do you go, and jumping on mushrooms. Who the fuck commissioned me to do this? We also have the power to send various characters on 20-hour expeditions, directly to the coal mines. Look guys, I really need these 2,000 upgrade materials. It's just, best to not think about it too hard.
Greetings, traveler. I'm Astra Abyssal.
Okay.
What can I...
Oh my god, again with this shit. Getting real fucking tired about this internet. Here, I got an idea.
It's just, best you don't think about it too hard.
Greetings, traveler. I'm Astra Abyssal.
Okay.
What can I do for you today?
Yeah, I'd like to send a child to the coal mine. Put her in for 20 hours.
But Traveler, she's going to die.
The lithium is not going to mine itself, Catherine.
Traveler.
Do not question me, Catherine, or I'll have you stabbed in a future class. Leeway is an authoritarian militaristic oligarchy controlled by a committee of really hot lesbians. I believe in Ganyu supremacy. This nation is the land of contracts, and by entering, you have made the contract to not criticize the state. Consequently, Leeway is also where all money is printed on the planet. So, I guess Mondstadt's economy is powered by hopes and dreams. And also, the card game. Look, Timmy, I know your dad's dead and all, but do you want to play Gwent? A minor side effect of this is that Leeway is in the midst of a violent crime epidemic. As in, the majority of enemies in Leeway are human, and even worse, they're poor. So the fact that they're forced to fight you with Molotov cocktails and farming equipment. What is your plan, my guy? The masculine urge to dig a hole. By the way, we're the good guys. Speaking of digging holes,
yeah. Yeah, that's how it works. You go against fucking humans who are poor and needing money and resort to crime. But yeah, by the way, you're the good guys. Because there is no underlying intent. It's all black and white there. There's nothing that says anything about that actual country's economy. There's nothing that says it there. No. Those guys are terrible, and you're the hero.
I should probably address this. It's a little difficult to ignore. You see, there are many beautiful places to see in Leeway, such as Night City, the fucking rice fields, the most annoying place to navigate on the earth. Like, please stop giving me commissions here. And then we have the Chasm, which is a secret underground labyrinth containing all of the game's eldritch horrors. And yes, this is just the entrance to the Chasm.
Yep. Nice job, Adam. That's not dumbass.
Yeah, there's no sound effect for that. If you die down here, no one will hear your screams. As soon as you think you're done exploring, it just keeps going down. The devs had to add moon shoes to the game so I could keep playing it. Now that we're trapped down here, we only have 2 options remaining. We need to mine and we need to craft. The second part will come later.
He did that for the comedy purposes, because you can do that with you can do that easily with a fucking Claymore character.
Okay, so now it's later. Unfortunately, I cannot craft a sense of humor. Look, what I'm trying to say is, Leeway is a very diverse place. Certainly more
Story of my fucking life.
The second part will come later. Okay, so now it's later. Unfortunately, I cannot craft a sense of humor. Look, what I'm trying to say is, Leeway is a very diverse place. Certainly more diverse than Hilichurl Field number 6. But most importantly, Leeway is a land of questions. What secrets lie in this mysterious land? What adventures are still to be had? Am I gay now?
I would say bisexual. I'm just gonna put that out there. But also, yeah, if you're wondering about that, keep wondering.
It's almost enough to make you forget the nightmare pit. And look, Leeway might have a few issues with organized crime, sea monster attacks, it happens twice, and the landscape always trying to kill me. But hey, at least the story's up. It's okay. Can anyone here tell me why like there's like a giant bird next to me? It's weird. Oh fuck, where am I? Diagon Alley.
What's up, gang? It's me, Arataki Ito.
I can't tell if that was an impersonator or actually Max.
What's up, gang? It's me, Arataki Ito.
I think that's an impersonator. But it's so in character, I couldn't tell. Episode 3, Inazuma, aka the one country that Genshin fans will get on their case because it's historically accurate, right? Because it's all like anime.
Okay guys, listen, we need to reach Japan. Don't worry, I have a plan to bypass immigration. We are going to walk there. Yes, that's right, we're going to... Excuse me, we're going to travel underneath the ocean. So apparently I just have to, That actually worked. Okay, I think I've, made a mistake. It's time to descend into the abyssal zone. Just to watch out for the void. What do I do about this? So I think I've been walking for, 20 minutes. I don't like...
Where the fuck are you? Where the fuck did you end up? A runway?
Okay, we're pretty close now, so I don't think we're close enough. Please,
Oh,
no,
boy.
please no, please no. We're drowning there.
Been there. Been there.
What is up, my Thades and Gentlethems? Welcome to the land of Inazuma, a home to nobody because no one is properly housed in Inazuma. Previously, Mondstadt taught us how to play, and Lee Wade taught us how to simp. Well, the land of lightning is here to teach us that we have not felt true pain yet. But first, let's go over our team, which I will be calling.
Yeah, I will fully admit that this is one of the few areas in the game where it's like, it actually legitimately feels somewhat challenging because there's actually like legitimate gimmicks here that actually put your characters to the test and everything. Kind of like Dragon Spine, but more so a little more tougher.
Calling the, Yandere Benzos. Yai Miko. Mommy, sorry. Sigma Phi kidnapped a man and force feminized him. God, I wish that was me.
Traveler, I'm making a call-out post to my twitter.com.
What the fuck are you saying?
I'm gonna piss on the fucking moon.
You can literally name him Bruce.
Hey, Alfred.
That is actually how it appears in game. In fact, we could name him all kinds of things, such as Baby Girl, Dr. Ligma, Wabushidashamor, Wallfart, Testicles. What is that? And last but not least, Hokashish, Hatsune Miku. This is literally just Miku. Like, they didn't even try to hide it. And Bennett, who is the single most overpowered unit in the game. Like, Genshin doesn't have power creep because of Bennett. Send this bitch to the coal mines and have his testicles exploded. Now, my previous teams, they were kind of nice. But this time, I'm not playing nice. I'm playing for funny numbers. Every single member is optimized beyond the boundaries of reason. I rolled 6 copies of Hatsune Miku, and now I can kill Tortellini in 2 attacks. It cost $50. Also, Bruce can fly, like actual flight. It breaks like half the game's AI when you do it.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. My entire team.
I imagine so. Because the game relies on you to be on the fucking ground. If you're flying constantly, yeah, I imagine, yeah, it would break something.
Is him shooting down at the peasants like an attack helicopter. Just, don't ask me how long I farmed for this. I had to grind for this view. Hang on a fucking second. She's wearing socks in the water.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Something is horribly wrong with this country. Inazuma is a third-world isolationist dictatorship, mostly occupied by catastrophic disasters, both natural and man-made, but mostly man-made. Me and the fellas watching Oppenheimer in the IMAX. Inazuma is also engulfed in a decades-long civil war, resulting in mass unemployment and a refugee crisis. Naturally, this is reflected in the enemy variety, because to visit Inazuma is to be accosted by hundreds of jacked homeless people. Like, these guys just stand in the rain all day. How do the Hilichurls have more shelter than this? It is also a land of many islands, which all act as their own individual insurgencies. So I think this is a great opportunity to educate you as to why you should never visit Inazuma. You know, besides, the fucking puzzles. This shit is the work of Satan. Narukami Island is the only place in Inazuma resembling a civilization. The rest is basically just Martin Luther King Boulevard. The only disaster this island has to worry about is the government, and her name is the Raiden Shogun. Kanazuka is the first island to be made uninhabitable by nuclear weapons testing, which then proceeds to leak out of the elephant's foot in an amount so dangerous it makes Chernobyl look like clown college. I mean, I guess there's also the Kujo encampment, but, we don't go to the Kujo encampment. Well, that's enough of that. Wait a minute. What the fuck? It is an absolute nightmare on account of the non-stop lightning storm and, slightly imposing giant skull. My favorite activity is, going to this place. It limits the land the lightning can strike, so it just fucking whacks you. Looks like a beautiful day in the great land of Inazuma. Of course, I could fix the problem if I wanted to, but when I began the quest to remove the lightning, I was struck by it. I'm gonna take that as a sign from God. Seirai Island is what happens when Mr. Beast donates 50 megatons of ionizing radiation to families in need. Like, this shit makes Evangelion look like a comedy special. The fact that there aren't even homeless people here probably tells you all you need to know. Surumi Island is a very isolated place, populated for thousands of years by bird-worshipping savages who need their mineral resources exploited. President Biden, please send Raytheon missiles so I can buy Dasani water and shoes. I just think it has something to do with the, interdimensional dog. Watatsumi Island is really nice. Like, what the fuck? Does this even count as an island? It's just so beautiful. I sure hope it's not hiding some kind of horrifying dark secret.
Yep. Yep. Yep, 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 yep.
Oh, Enkanomiya is fucking Atlantis. You get there by jumping into the giant hole, and it's like how is this legal? Are the developers okay? This place was once home to a thriving civilization, which collapsed nearly instantly after they discovered TikTok. It also allows me to toggle the powers of the artificial sun. And holy shit, this 5G connection is crazy. Look, I think you've got the idea at this point. As much as I've talked about reactions and children, Genshin Impact at its core is an exploration game because it makes you explore your sexuality, and that fact alone makes Inazuma one of the best areas. If you don't count the story, please kill me, mommy. I've been a bad boy. And okay, this nation might be lacking in housing, basic infrastructure, and some unbombed land, but honestly, that's just part of the rustic charm. How else do you think this island got a giant crater? Just be glad you don't have to live in Inazuma. It's all fun and games until you piss off the geometry.
Yeah, some of the bosses in Inazuma when I was playing, they were no joke. Like, absolutely. Like, the difficulty got amped up outside of Liyue and Mondstadt because, dear God, I will say this, the enemies for Inazuma got very creative.
Hi guys, it's me, Goro. Oh, is that peanut butter?
Why does he sound like the one unicorn from Trolling the Unicorn? Hey, Charlie! Let's go to Candy Mountain, Charlie! Man.
Hi guys, it's me, Goro.
And this is pretty much where I dropped off.
Alright fellas, for our next stop, we're going to enter the Weed Land. We need to smoke that Zaza and fall unconscious. And to do that, all we have to do is not be stuck in Inazuma. So if you were a fan of our undersea adventure, then don't worry, this glitch is much worse. All we gotta do is, whatever that was. I can't let go of the W button, by the way. Get ready to receive some Holy Spirit. Okay, so we're just going down to, we're going to Silent Hill now. Sorry guys, it looks like we're, approaching Meltdown. Hey, what's up, guys? It's me, Maxor. 1 second, guys. My mom's calling me. Hey, Mom. 1 second. I'm flying to get that Zaza.
What does that mean?
It means I'm low-key in a battle bus.
Sometimes I wish you were normal.
Could you, for once, just speak English?
Okay, where are we dropping, boys? Perfect landing. Hey there, my little Genshits. Welcome to the land of Sumeru. Hey there, my little Genshits.
I'm clubbing that.
Welcome to the land of Sumeru. Hittite jump scare. The only nation in Genshin Impact that can use the internet, mostly for racism. Good to see that nothing's changed. It is also absurdly gigantic. Like, the map screen can't even see all of it. But before we can get into the intricacies of Sumerian society, I have to explain my team. The kindergarten. Nahida is... I can explain. My girl at 10.
I gotta clip some of this shit. This is awesome.
The kindergarten. Nahida is... I can explain.
I can explain.
My girl at 10, but she is 10.
Bro, she looked like she's fucking 5. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna lie. She looked like she's 5.
Literal god of knowledge. If you count knowledge as the personal thoughts of every NPC in Sumeru, which she can read, even when I log into Discord, there's no escaping her. Oh my fucking god, they're still typing it. How many emotes do these people have?
Does watching you count as a hobby?
What?
What? Okay, this is the first time I've heard this character.
I've actually been watching you for a long time already.
And I'm on a watch list.
Excuse me, what? Nilu has a completely hollow skull. There is nothing happening inside her head. She could not pass an eye exam. Sangonomiya Koko... Wait a
Cock.
minute, I've seen you before. But fellas, I've got something to admit. You see, Kokomi's damage scales on health, her healing scales on health, and yes, even her health scales on health. So naturally, when it came time to build her, I used the wrong stat. It makes the numbers funnier. Yao Yao is very cute and muddy. Her playstyle is chill and relaxing. In fact, you don't even have to play as Yao Yao. You play as her artificial beast given life. It throws vegetables at them. How many people would you kill for Yao Yao is not the right question. The right question is how many people I would allow to live. Personally, I think this team is really good for not having a DPS, and we are going to need it for all the funny and interesting events this game has to offer. Because, dear viewer, I lied to you. The best way to make money is not actually the Weasel minigame. It is participating in temporary event content, which I
Yep, that's 100% true.
can only describe as punishment for developers who are too insane. Event content such as Prop Hunt, a game where you disguise yourselves as various household items to escape the wrath of very stupid people. Oh god, I think he's got a whiff. Wow guys, this is just like Genshin Impact.
Yeah, but I don't have to pay to see kids.
You know
We get a replay on that?
He's got a whiff. Wow guys, this is just like Genshin Impact.
Yeah, but I don't have to pay to see kids.
You know what? I think it's about time that I show off my winning strategies. Fellas, I've got a good feeling about this one. All we've got to do is, Yep. Next, you gotta do this. He will never find me this way.
Oh my god.
Does he know? Oh my god, he doesn't know. Wait a second, no. Alright, fellas,
Oh,
I've got a
shit!
plan for this map. We're just gonna stand here. He has no clue. I can't. Why is it working like this? I'm sorry, guys, looking up is really hard. I am torturing this man. You could say that he's among us. We also have event content like the boat minigame. I'm having so much fun with the boat minigame. The Pokemon Tournament arc. What is happening on my screen? Does that man have a fucking gun? Beetle cockfighting. I've always wanted to beat a child. And my personal favorite, Chinese New Year. Because it makes me the most money. Just, don't look up any of the cutscenes. What the fuck?
It also gives you 1 free 4-star.
You know, Hu Tao, I think you've got some hidden talent. Please keep it hidden. The trap wasn't released. It fucking escaped. Kaya, you gotta watch out, buddy. You're going around. Sumeru is an autocratic Orwellian surveillance state with a little hint of apartheid, governed by the worst organization imaginable. University. This nation is the land of knowledge, with most of it being devoted to new, more efficient ways to be racist. And to that end, Sumeru is segregated between 2 distinct parts, each with their own unique ways to kill you. The forest is a terrifying safari hellscape, where each animal is not only able to kill you, but is evolved to.
Yep.
We've got tigers, cows, crocodiles, robot dinosaur, fungus dinosaur. Welcome to Jurassic Park. And my favorite animal type.
Fungus dinosaur. No.
Fungus dinosaur. Welcome.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
To Jurassic Park. And my favorite animal type, poor people. But most importantly, the forest is where the white people live, and they're filling the library with video essays. This is the academia, who control Sumeru by spreading misinformation on the internet. Raiden, the academia doesn't want you to know this, but you can steal ducks from the public park. They're free, Raiden. The desert is a desolate, abandoned wasteland, once home to a thriving civilization. Before the Caucasoids built a giant wall between them. Does anyone else think this is weird? We've got scorpions.
I do think it has some real-world connotations.
We've got Scorpions. Welcome to Jurassic Hell. We've got never mind. So is he gonna like okay.
Teleports behind you.
And we've got worm demons. But my personal favorite obstacle is definitely the gigantic fuck-off laser. Of course, even more enemies. But most of them are just liberal propaganda to make you believe that race mixing is a physical need. And fellas, it's working. But hey, the desert isn't all that bad, as long as you ignore the racist genie quest. Motherfucker graduated from casual to competitive racism.
Alright, later, Max.
What? Wait.
I gotta go AFK real quick.
You asshole!
You can't do this to me. Look, the point is, Sumeru is massive, and it's not even done. And also Leeway isn't done. And also Mondstadt. But what Sumeru does have is an actually...
Moral of the story is the game isn't even done.
Good story. Like, out of all the things I expected, Harvard building an Evangelion was not one of them. You can't tell me what to do anymore, Mom. I'm finally inside of another man. I am the all-knowing God.
Mobile game, by the way.
Woods at 4 a.m.
Mobile game about to be a mobile microwave.
Finding amazing oases. God, I sure hope nothing whimsical happens here. Fighting more minorities. I'm trying to be a police officer. Or doing the 8-hour gnome people quest. That is a lot of side quests. There will always be a new surprise in Sumeru. And if future content is even a fraction as good as this, then I'm going to be playing this game for a very long time. Because, you know, I wasn't doing that already. What the fuck? Saito? Saito, this man's fucking tweaking out right now. You know what, guys? Before I go, I want to give you all a fun tip that most Genshin players don't know.
The age of consent is 18 years old.
The age of consent is 18 years old.
Called it! Oh my god. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I was thinking about reacting to more, but the conversation went on longer than I actually expected, so yeah. Pretty much, yeah, that's gonna be it though. That was fun. And on the plus side, I didn't actually get suspended for the stream for this one, so yay, there's that. Whatever. When there are new videos out and whatnot, and it's by people I'm subscribed to, yeah, I'll definitely consider doing this again. But if it happens if there are too many new videos in a row, then I'll just have to wait, like, I don't know, a week or something. Whether or not this reaction video is going to be up, the reaction video on the Genshin, that's up in the air. I'll definitely post the VOD on my second channel, but, yeah, I don't, because, well, here's the thing, because I got a community guidelines warning from YouTube, so I don't, for shit that they won't even tell me why. So, when it comes to uploading content on my main channel, it's gonna be a while before I even consider doing that again. But I will post the, I'll post the VOD on my second channel. Or not my second channel, my side channel. And, yeah, call it a day. If, time comes when I finally come back and whatnot to YouTube, I'll think about putting it in there. But it probably won't really do that well, honestly. But, because, it'll be some time before I come back to YouTube. But yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining me. I'm gonna get out of here. So, take care.